Hello.
Ta-da!
Hello.
Ta-da.
Hello, and welcome to our weekly D&D session, hosted by the lovely. I don't know if she's on this side. Are you below?
I'm
me?
below you.
Hosted by the lovely, sleepiest Jenny. Thank you for hosting our weekly D&D games, Jenny.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Fist bump.
Cause
Yeah, cool. Doc's kind of loud. Tom fucking loud. Okay, great. Well, in that case, you should probably turn me down.
Yeah, I'm
because
turned down.
let's be honest. This is me at a quiet volume.
we are using that new thing, so
How's
Me.
it sounding now? If everyone could say hi. Everyone say hi.
hello. Hello.
Dogs. Not in your ASMR voice.
Hello. This is
Hello.
Tom's normal voice. This is Tom kind of excited. This is Tom kind of shouting. And that's just like a quiet shout.
Hey,
Not even
LA
like a
Lakers
real
guru.
shout.
How you doing?
Say words with lots of S's in.
Tom is okay now. Good. Hey, Cara.
What? Me?
Hi, Kara. Yeah.
This is
Mm-hmm.
simplistic, shady Slytherin
Yeah, I need to take you down.
sauntered softly
Wait, how do I
southward.
turn you down? Can I turn you down?
I don't think you can individually turn people down. I think you have to.
What a shit thing this is.
Yeah, fuck you, Zoom.
Not sponsoring us. How dare you? That's what you get now. We're going to shit on your product while we still use it because it's better than Discord.
Yeah.
It's alternative. It's an alternative to Discord. Okay. It's a side grade. It's a side grade.
What?
Not an upgrade. It's not a downgrade.
Oh, right. I see. I see.
It's a side grade.
Side
It's a
grade.
linear directional change.
That uses like 25% of the computing power.
Yeah.
Yes, it's lateral.
God damn.
Hi everyone, how you doing?
Don't mind me while I just put on my lipstick.
This bad.
Zoom automatically sends out their assassins.
Oh, no.
Last time they were going to sponsor us. Now they're just done.
Yes.
Yep.
So we're using Zoom again. Last time we were given the free extension from our 45-minute session onward to infinity.
Mhm.
We haven't paid for a subscription yet, but we're thinking about it.
Yeah. But you can keep running 40-minute meetings. I
Yeah.
assume. I assume it doesn't tell you, hey, stop doing that. But
Stop.
if it does,
The
then.
capricious. Good word.
So hopefully that'll be a-okay.
Hey, Rain.
Hey, hello,
Oh.
dudes. Love it.
Dudes.
Hi, Rain. How you doing? So we missed D&D last week because unfortunately Dox's wife was unwell and he had his husbandly duties of looking after her, which I think we can all agree is a very good excuse. The week before that, we had a lovely session of D&D where majority of it was RP and the other majority of it was getting
Jeez.
distracted and not really doing very much.
I don't remember getting distracted.
We got distracted a lot. Am I remembering the wrong session?
What did we get
I feel like we
distracted
got
about?
distracted a lot. Like I feel like did we start late and then? the
Oh, no,
majority
we
of it-
had this Discord trouble,
Oh,
is what the
yes.
issue was.
Yes.
And then we
Yeah.
started using Zoom, so that was the issue last time.
We're Why very getting bright. bug quest? Very important quest.
Yes, so we did that. You guys had to kind of have the debrief of Hyacinth having met who she believes is her father, Daniel. Daniel Bouquet. It's a lot less of a musical name, isn't it? Hyacinth Bouquet. Daniel.
Dan. My name's Dan.
My name's Dan Bouquet.
Dan Bucket. Pronounced okay.
Hey, Waddle.
And we had a lovely kind of RP moment Was that last week? Not last week. The last session that we had was that the RP moment
Yeah.
where I think I was like a 25-minute video. Did you say it was or a 15? 25 minutes.
I
Yeah.
think it,
25 minutes worth of RP between myself and Katie and everybody. But the majority of it was Katie's character Hyacinth talking to her papa, catching up. And what did Hyacinth? What did Hyacinth kind of deduce from her run-in with her papa about his whereabouts and the situation behind his disappearance?
So either he made a deal, either he set out to put himself at some sort of an advantage and made a bad deal, or he knew what the risks were and something was more important to him than anything else, and maybe he didn't know the exact terms of it or something, and she's under the impression that he must have entered into some sort of indentured servitude because he seems to be magically compelled to stick around and to not speak of it.
Okay, so the important thing there you've said is that he seems to be magically bound in some way, because he's tried to communicate to you, or at least it appears that he's tried to communicate to you and he's been unable to do so. So after that, you had arranged a meeting with Varkis Septifine, who is the director of a group of adventurers, or an organization, or appears to be a group of adventurers who are the crew of this giant ship that you've seen parked outside of Geese, called the Wayward. You had a meeting, a dinner party, essentially, with himself and his two compatriots, whose names I have not written down.
Lynn and Soph.
It was Len and Soph, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Put that on my whiteboard. Len and Soph. One of them was a bold non-binary person. I think that was the soft person.
Yeah, and they're a drow as well. I take good notes.
And Len was a very pretty elfin lady, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've written elf lady next to Len. That's correct.
Good note taking, guys. I was clearly so enthralled by our RP that I had forgotten. Frustratingly, I actually had the notes written somewhere, but I don't think I saved the document.
Oh no.
I'm ordering from Domino's. What's good? Get the burger pizza. It's so good. You wouldn't think it would be, but it's so good.
I like roasted red peppers and diced tomatoes. It's nice and tangy veggies, and technically tomatoes are fruit.
Tasty burger pizza. Yeah, there's a burger pizza. It's got gherkins, burger sauce, beef.
Why don't you just buy a burger at that point? Surely you want a burger.
It's got gherkins on a pizza, man. That's yummy. I'm up for that. Burger sauce as well.
I put gherkins on almost anything.
Yeah, gherkins.
Those are pickles, right?
Yes.
And they're the sour ones or the sweet ones?
We don't have the difference.
We probably do. They're normally the sour ones.
I've never. Are they?
I think so. They're tangy. They're not sweet.
Yeah, they're tangy. They're not, but they're not either. Not sweet or sour. It's mustard pickles. All right, let's stop getting distracted by pickles. Okay.
I think you need to make a sheet of all the different kinds of pickles for DMs.
Actually, I discussed with our friend Mike, Twitter Mike, also known as Patrice and Mycroft.
Yes.
I don't know where the Patrice came from.
B-Team Mike?
Yes, B-Team Mike. About possibly getting some kind of DM handbook for the DMs Guild put aside, for like describing like environments or architecture or like
Towers.
towers, but like with reference sheets for different words and what they specifically mean, and maybe different like names for different parts of buildings and stuff, so that DMs would have something that they could use as a resource. I don't know whether he's keen on it, but it's the kind of thing where I'd love to do it, but I know that if I started it on my own, it would never happen. Like I need someone else to kind of nag me.
Yeah.
Flying buttresses are really cool, Dusk.
Yes, they
I
are.
know all about flying buttresses. I actually know like a random lot about masonry because of a book I read that had to do with that a lot.
Yeah.
With that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm all for buttresses.
Flying buttresses specifically.
Oh, specifically flying buttresses.
Mm.
Okay. Well, flying buttresses are also cool. Anyway, let's get back to D&D. I don't remember D&D not being an easily distractible event. Anyway, so you had a meeting with Len, Soph, Casimir, yourselves, and Varkis Septifine. You were in Hyacinth's mansion that was all set up for fancy dinner mode, and you had a discussion, quite a lengthy discussion, about basically what you'd been up to, what the situation on the island was, and then you tried to ask a couple of questions about where they'd come from, where they'd been, and what you deduced was that deduced and kind of found out from talking to them, is that they are an adventuring party that seems to have the ability to travel through planes using their ship, the Wayward, in a way that transports them to the astral plane, for example, in a physical form, rather than having their connection to the material plane, which is the plane that you live on. This usually requiring getting to the astral plane, which is like basically kind of spiritual space. It's quite hard to describe, really. It's like space.
That's a good way to describe it, though.
It's like space, but it's not actual space. Like there's space, and then there's like spiritual space.
Hey, Kev.
Hey, Kev. What up, Kev? Hey, Dusk. To get to spiritual space, the astral plane, usually it requires some kind of spell, some kind of teleportation or something that has it's like a silver string that attaches your spirit to yourself. And if that silver rope was cut, it essentially severs your astral self from your physical self, which is
like in Hercules.
Bad juju. Is it like in Hercules?
Yeah.
Yes.
They do that.
That mortal's thread of life.
Yeah, there's like the horrible witches.
Oh,
Fates.
the three fates, the horrible witches.
The threads
they
of
were
life.
horrible witches. I was only a
And they
small child.
cut them and you die.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen Hercules. I'm sorry, but
It's like
Missing
one
out.
of the few Disney films I've actually seen.
wait. So
If it
if this
happens
happens
to
to
you,
you,
you die.
so yeah. So if it happens to you, you die basically. But
Hey, Teagues.
hi, Teagues. You act like you're a puppet whose strings have been cut. I mean, you die.
So yes,
Yes.
you act like a puppet.
But anyway, so basically, what you got from this conversation was that they have this flying airship that appears to let them travel to the astral plane without that kind of magic, which is an impressive thing in itself. They told you a couple of the stories of places that they've been in the astral plane and other planes, and it was all very impressive.
And suspicious.
Distressingly enough for Hyacinth was that they all seemed rather above board. Wouldn't you say so?
Like she was already suspicious, so I think everybody else kind of like assumed that they were nice. But the way that Soph was talking about losing their mate and instead of saying finding friends, saying finding comrades or something like that. The way that Soph described it, it made it sound like they were kind of more, instead of saying, oh, I was a wayward child and then I found my family, it kind of sounded more like I found a place to exist. And so I don't necessarily feel like it's not some kind of like, what is it, Davy Jones's ship thing where somehow you get tied to it or something.
Okay. So essentially you had this dinner party with these guests who are the first mate and security chief essentially of this ship, as well as the captain. They're all very polite. They're quite complimentary of you and your Susan's attire. And they're all very friendly, and you have a lovely dinner party. But obviously, they're somewhat hard to read. You're a little bit suspicious because, for those of you who haven't tuned in before, in the session prior to that, you essentially realize that your father, Daniel, appears to be in some way attached to this crew, and it does not necessarily look like it's voluntary, and it looks like it might be in some way bound by some kind of magic.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously we've got Hyacinth is at least somewhat suspicious of that.
She's extremely suspicious of that.
Yeah. How do Dane and Susan feel about the crew of the Wayward so far?
Susan's pretty suspicious, but she doesn't trust a lot of people now. She kind of just trusts who she's known for a very long time, and that's kind of like her level. She doesn't know, and like you appear on a ship, and she's just like, nah, they seem nice, but I don't. There's something else maybe happening here.
Sure. Okay.
Dane definitely thinks there's something they're not telling us. Like, they happen to like appear here at this point. They come right here. They got someone who's directly connected with one of our adventuring parties on board. It's all way too coincidental.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they just sort of nonchalantly came from a portal from the astral plane. Or that's where they say they came from.
Yeah. Say.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, you say that you think that maybe they've got something to hide. Do you think it's something nefarious, something evil? Or do you think maybe, I mean, like as Casimir said in the previous session, you guys have had your own secrets that you necessarily haven't been entirely forthcoming. I mean, upon meeting another adventuring party, do you think that maybe you would have seen them the same way they see you, vice versa?
I'm trying to think of a single secret Hyacinth had other than my dad's been missing my whole life.
Well, it's not so much there's a secret as in something that, you don't have to necessarily spill your guts and tell everyone everything about you the second you meet them.
Yeah. I think there's a difference between like casually getting to know someone though, and casually getting to know someone while recognizing that there's a very like obvious, if nothing else, then there is some manner of unwilling servitude going on. There is a separation. There are the people with uniforms and armbands, and the people with armbands also seemed like they had a weight on them. Like, because you think you mentioned at one point that they were all kind of like shuffling around doing tasks, and the other ones were kind of more talkative, or maybe I inferred that. But
might have inferred that.
Okay.
So there are members of the crew who have been basically you've arrived at your stronghold, your home, where essentially normally you have people coming and going, mostly peasants and traders who might come through your home, your stronghold. But you arrived, and when you arrived by casting your spell that teleports you back here, you realized that it was a lot more populated than usual. Many of these people were wearing some uniform or an armband that matched them in some kind of uniform way. It was this red and black kind of color scheme that kind of made them all seem like they're in the same unit. Some of them were busy doing jobs. Some of them weren't, though I can see why you might have inferred that that was them shuffling around. Nothing that you've... Was there a windmill-like pattern there? All right, Waddle. We're not getting Nazis in D&D.
No.
But in any case, they what was that noise?
I don't know.
That was strange. But I mean, nothing you've seen has made them seem like they're zombies or.
No, not zombies. Like downtrodden.
Or slaves. Yeah,
like,
they've all seemed like they're happy enough to be where they are. Obviously, apart from your father.
Right. It was the ghost. Adam said.
Oh yeah, I think it's well known that we're haunted.
Can you just say haunted again, please?
Haunted.
Okay, go on.
What?
It sounded really Australian to my ears for a second. Haunted. I was like, what?
You haunted? G'day, mate. It's a ghost. Spooky, scary ghost. Our stream's been haunted for decades. Can't do it. It's not an accent that I'm very strong with. I apologise to any Australians.
Oh, that was great. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
So, yeah, does that change anything for you?
I think to be perfectly fair about it, once she glanced around, there's these people she didn't know, and she might have been able to see them from a non-biased viewpoint. But when Varkas obviously knew who she was when she introduced herself and acknowledged that, she was kind of suspicious. And then upon everything else rolling out, I don't think she can look at it from an unbiased view. So she's going to see them all as
fine.
Injured or something like that, which is probably why I saw them that way.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a change in perspective. I'm just wondering whether the clarification of the information would have changed your character's viewpoint.
I don't think so, because I think if she had met them and they didn't seem like they knew her and it was just a story and there was nothing tying them to this or anything, it would have been a very different scenario for her.
Sure.
So meeting other adventurers on the road that are just adventurers that don't randomly have connections and have appeared out of another plane,
Mm-hmm. Totally understandable. Okay, well, like we said, you had that dinner party. Everything seemed mostly above board with them. They were polite, good company. You exchanged stories and information about the island and the curse that it suffers from. Afterwards, they left, and Hyacinth had a bit of a moment.
A moment. She had a fit. Yeah.
Yeah. What does she do in her fit?
When the police chief knows that somebody is a criminal and they slip out of their grasp and they walk back into their room and throw everything off their desk. That's what she did, but with fine crystal glasses that will break and turn into dust, so nobody has to clean them up. Well, the spectral servants might clean them up, but and we kind of let everyone in on her perspective and history in that regard.
Yes. After which, there was a bit of a conversation between everybody. Everyone lent her their support to Hyacinth, said, we're all with you. Whatever you want to do, we'll do. And we ended our D&D session there. Mm-hmm. However, in the meantime, there has been a little bit of RP on the RP channel in the Discord. Which has been a bit of a moment between Susan and Hyacinth. Mm-hmm. Is that something that you want to summarize briefly? The conversation you had? Or is that not possible?
Yeah. I think Hyacinth kind of was a little restless and came out just needing interaction to find comfort in. And she sees Susan as somebody who is much more grounded than she is, who just kind of feels things and accepts them and can just kind of keep going and seems to always have something not necessarily positive to say, but also just very like down to earth. And so she's kind of was hoping to maybe glean a little bit of like what secret it is Susan has to be able to do that. And so she was kind of questioning her situation and Susan and talking to her about what she could maybe learn from her, I guess, in a way.
I like that. So she was essentially looking for insight into Susan's, not necessarily bright and cheery, but she's quite able to roll with the punches.
Mm-hmm.
She was kind of looking for insight into how she does that.
Like adaptable and grounded. She just seems very wise to Hyacinth. Not a wise person.
And then you spent that time smashing glasses?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Which was adorable. I was like half tempted to RP that Casimir would come in and have a little bit of a chat, but I didn't want to ruin the lovely moment that you were having. But also you've got to go, you're in this mansion, like all the rooms are soundproofed or something like that. I didn't want to like swoop in.
Could have done.
I think
a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was enjoying the RP guys were going through. I'm not gonna the DM doesn't have to stick his finger in all the pies, you know? You have some of your own pies.
We made our own pie. That's last.
And then smashed it.
Fuck those pies. Delicious RP pies.
You figure in this DM.
I just love you and want you to succeed, okay?
Mm-hmm. And Hyacinth and Susan was very wise and gave Hyacinth some very good kind of like metaphoric advice. And it was a nice little moment.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think your character's relationships has changed?
That was one of those like kind of bonding moments.
Yeah.
Susan will remember this.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, fantastic.
Everything.
So, assuming after you broke all the glasses in your mansion and they magically reappeared because it's a mansion that's completely fabricated, I assume you went right back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Finished your long night rest. Woke up in the morning. You had, during your dinner party, mentioned to Varkis that you wanted to meet with, I don't know, a mason maybe?
They brought up the mason.
Well, they brought up, oh, we have this person, we got a little bit of everything on our ship, and you were like, huh, a mason. But it wasn't Varkis.
No,
it wasn't Varkis that brought it up. But anyway, so you'd use that opportunity. And Varkis said, yeah, chat to Soph. Because she'll hook you up, or they'll hook you up. And that was kind of your cue. Your cue is cool. If I want some alone time with Pops, this is how I do it.
Just borrowing for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, he's making notes.
Yeah. But in any case, you wake up afresh. You've had your long night rest. And you're feeling much better after your moment of catharsis last night, where you managed to smash some pots and pans.
Crystal glasses.
Crystal glasses, I'm sorry, that's much more much more valuable.
Like that would have been
Also a
tough.
lot easier to smash.
Yeah, you have to pull out some spells to smash those. I don't have very much strength.
All right. So in which case, you're feeling much better this morning. You're gonna have your usual breakfast of wang cakes.
That's right. Can't start a day
Nothing
with
says
Every morning.
nothing says balanced diet like wang cakes for breakfast every single day.
Just
Yeah, I'm sure
wank
they
it.
I mean, there are other things too.
Yeah, pear bit.
Actually, Hyacinth normally will have like fruit, like a bowl of fruit,
On the pancake.
like juice and stuff. But today she's having pancakes.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right.
Comfort food.
Waddle doesn't know what wank cakes are. Wank cakes.
Hi.
I think we have a command for that. Yep.
We have a command. Oh my god, that's amazing. I didn't realize I had a command for that. That's fantastic. Yes. Welcome to one of the many in-jokes that we have in this D&D game. Anyway, moving swiftly on from wancakes. I'm thinking there's something else. Yeah, there's no, that's completely fine. Wancakes are completely normal.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
So, you're rested. What are your plans for today, party? You're all gathered around the breakfast table. Any thoughts for the day?
Susan would probably ask Hyacinth what she wanted to do today.
Well, I would definitely like to have a conversation with Soph. I suppose we should check in with Savid and perhaps Sage Galen and see if he's got more sense about him or maybe has learned anything else.
I forgot he was drunk the last time we spoke. Yeah.
Drunk as a skunk? Hyacinth was this close to like just walking over and backhanding him. This close.
That reminds me, that's another thing that happened last session. You had a meeting with Sage Galen, who, like you said, was quite drunk, and he basically said, "I mean, it's the end of the world's happening. Who gives a fuck?"
Well, last time this happened, God died.
Yeah. So he essentially said the massive storm that is occurring above the island currently, that appeared a couple of days ago, and started spitting out demons, devils, and like denizens of all kinds of elemental planes, and possibly the ship, the Wayward,
Possibly.
has apparently the only other time this has happened in recording history was when the god Baal died, the god of murder. So that was your moment.
Good thing to be told.
Yeah. So he was a bit drunk and not feeling his not feeling his best.
You know, normal storm-like activity, spitting out what the hell's in the abyss. Yeah. You see that on the weather quite often.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Everyone's
Light
staying
shower of minor demons.
Minor demons.
Is that movie Caught with a Chance of Meatballs, but it's like Caught with a Chance of Baylors or whatever it was. Fighting in front of us.
Okay, so
By the way,
anyway.
Dane, that was amazing. I don't think we've ever talked about that, but how did you do that?
My special skills.
That could become quite useful.
Yes, I can definitely do it again.
I guess like Hyacinth was like, "Here's a moment to RP," and Dane was like, "No." So what happened, Dane? Casimir says, "Yes, I have not seen you do that before."
I've never done that before. I was just trying to make some little bit of space so we could like get around, and then next thing I know, I feel like powerful, like my god, and then everything's gone.
You felt like
Powerful,
a god.
like your god, yes.
I don't know. It was different. It wasn't the same as. It isn't the same as me normally using my powers. It was more like something else was assisting me. It wasn't like, oh, hey, here's a great connection with your god. It was more like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. I think you want to do this.
Wow.
Well, I'm very thankful that it happened.
Yeah, it'd be a bit awkward otherwise.
I mean, maybe a little bit dead otherwise.
Or at least the town would be a little bit dead. We could have gotten out.
Yes, I suppose you have your teleport skill.
And we could have just gone back into the mansion.
Yes. It makes me feel very uncomfortable thinking of all those people and how they would be now without Dane's intervention.
And you can't tell what it was.
No, not really.
Well, something's on our side. That's good to know.
I should have been a wizard of some kind.
I don't know that wizards can do that either.
I mean, I feel like compared to my sword, it feels useless against someone of such power.
Your contributions matter, Casimir.
I slash some undead people from time to time, but I don't disappear entire armies of devils.
Well, I mean, he said he normally doesn't either, so.
Perhaps he's just being modest. I do not know.
Fair. I'm good at contracts. I'm not so good at people. Well,
How are you with devils and demons?
depends on whether or not they're wanting to make a deal.
You would make a deal with a devil or a demon?
Not if I can help it. But if we were in that situation again and one of them turned to us and said, we'll spare the town if only you something, then I'd do my best to negotiate our way out of that while you try
Yes,
to do
well-
that thing again.
You trust them to
Absolutely not.
stick to a contract?
Well, contracts are binding. You just have to read the fine print. You always read the terms and conditions. You always read the terms and conditions.
If someone cuts you in half, your contract doesn't mean anything anymore.
Well, you put that you're not to come to any harm by their hand of those who are under their employ or that they contract.
Oh,
Contracts
I
are-
think what Dane means is why would you think that they would agree to contracts? Why would signing a contract stop him from killing you?
Well, I
I have
mean,
no morals.
if they felt the need to turn to us and ask for something, it meant that we could do something for them that they could not do themselves, or that they thought it would be amusing to watch us do. Devils are interesting creatures. I've learned a lot about them, not firsthand necessarily, but
I see.
in my adventures.
So you mean that devils perhaps can be reasoned with?
The less chaotic among them, there are stories.
Perhaps that is the difference between devils and demons.
Perhaps. I don't know if there are any non-chaotic demons, but some devils. Some of them have a very strict code, and going against a contract would violate their code.
Fascinating. Perhaps we can bear that in mind the next time we are faced with an army of both.
Let's just hope he can do that again.
Let's
Either
hope we
way,
don't come up against an army of demons and devils again.
I think there will definitely be armies in our future. Whether they are of armies of devils and demons, I do not know. Either way, Hyacinth, you want to meet with Soph? You say that you mentioned at the dinner party last night that you wanted to meet with her for discussions with their masons.
Well, you remember that they mentioned that they had them, and they'd noticed that they had one. They mentioned that they had one. I don't know why they would need one, but they do have one. And they mentioned noticing that we had been working on geese and restoring it and fortifying it and improving it in general, and said that he might be handy and that we could discuss it later. So I don't know what to benefit it might become, but
I am confused as to why we need a mason.
how much did you have to drink last night, Casimir? The mason is my father.
Oh shit! Yeah, yes. That is a very important thing for us. Leaves through his book. It says, "Supporting your friends. What is important for you is important for me."
Thank you, Casimir.
You're welcome.
I love watching him learn interaction. So I don't know how useful he will be, but at the very least, I may be able to learn more. As I said, I don't know if he deserves to be saved. I hope to find out.
Okay, well, do Dane and Susan have any other plans for today? I suppose it's difficult to have plans for your Sunday when the inevitable doom of the of the island is floating above you.
Can't really go for a stroll in the park.
Yeah, responsibility of death of everyone that you know is just hanging there.
Susan gets out her to-do list that she's been having this whole time. At the top it says "Save the Island," and it's still like
Is Buff on there somewhere?
To-do list. She's got to do Buff.
Is that one already ticked though?
That's already ticked.
That's alright, ticked. Why?
Oh, ew.
There's spaces for extra check marks, so.
Hey Wills. Oh hey Time, if you're
Oh,
still
hey,
here
Wills.
as well. Or if not, thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, hi Time. Sorry,
Hi,
I was
Time.
I was D&Ding. I couldn't say hi. Time popped in and I like literally went to go mute myself to like go type a hi message and you're like, so Hyacinth. And I was like, unmute.
Sorry, that's
No, it's good.
standard me. Okay. So, tell me, party people, what are you doing? You've told me your plans. It's too easy for me to say, you leave! You tell me what you're doing.
So if we got like some time, I think Dane probably have like a wander around because it's been a while since they've been to Geese where they haven't been being hunted by everyone.
Yeah.
Just have a look how are the fortifications going, how are the people like looking like they're holding up. Is there food stores? And then maybe go like up like one of the towers or like the highest point that you can get to and just have a look around the surrounding areas and like is it all on fire, for example?
Okay, that's a good thing to check. I would first like you to tell me what kind of tower it is.
It's a bell tower.
It's gonna go up a bell tower
On top of the church.
Okay, so you're gonna go check out some towers and whatnot. you're gonna scout out your strongholds essentially, and I mean because you had some construction done, some refurbishment. You haven't really had a proper chance to check it out. Every time you've been here, it's been for a night and then. Yeah, it's been a night and then another time you've had to leave immediately afterwards. So you're gonna have a bit of a check.
Yeah.
Okay. Susan?
I would want to follow Dane if he's checking out everything as well.
Okie dokie. Well, Casimir kind of bids you farewell as you all leave the mansion. It appears he's got some of his own kind of business to attend to. He doesn't say much.
Dragons have needs too.
But in any case, go your mostly separate ways. Hyacinth.
What time was it yesterday that Daddy popped up?
Daddy popped up.
Because I cast the mansion shortly after we arrived and I had a conversation with him, so it might not last too much longer. And I was going to tell Casimir, you have until such and such time, in which case it will spit you out on the ground, so you might
in whatever state you have.
Oh no, he left the mansion. And
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You can just pull his wings around him. It's like a shroud.
It's like a bathroom.
He might not care that much. He's spent a lot of time in the wilderness.
Surely that's page 1 of the book.
What? Page 1 of the book of the social etiquette book that he was given is "Don't be naked."
Yes.
I think nudity is relative to the different races. He's a half dragon. There aren't very many of those.
Well, that's the explanation. Is like in a polite company of like mixed species, it's generally considered like rude to walk around naked.
Okay. So, Dane and Susan, you're going on essentially a little patrol. You make your way to the top of the stronghold. And what you find actually is you find Varkis. Varkis is at the very top of the stronghold, and he's with some kind of contraption that looks like a large telescope. It's clearly not something that it's not this big old bulky thing that has been lugged around, but it's been assembled meticulously. And he's peering through it when you come up the staircase onto the vast landing, and he's looking kind of directly north into the sky.
I see we're not the only ones looking for a vantage point to see surrounding lands.
Are you approaching him and saying that, or are you just saying that to Susan beside you?
I'm saying that to him, like as we go up.
Okay. He kind of pulls himself away. Oh, hello. Yes. Come here. Both of you, come here. And he kind of he looks through it one more time. And says, okay. Have a look through this. Peering through it, what you see is a kind of a vast network of clouds, and it just seems to be clouds as far as you're aware.
It's clouds.
What are we looking at?
We've seen clouds.
Just wait for a second. Wait. Small clouds.
What am I meant to be looking for?
Just wait. You'll see. Small clouds.
Is it just clouds? It's just clouds.
Just wait.
We are waiting.
It's worth it, I promise you.
Is he like going through her pockets right now?
I was going to say, I'm holding my belongings.
Well, only one of us can be looking at the telescope, right? So we'll just take it in turns.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, we can't both be in a telescope.
Okay, so who's looking at it right now?
I'll go first.
So say we've swapped it one or two times. We're back to Susan now. Susan's back and she's looking through it. Roll me a perception check.
2 seconds. 25.
Oh!
Just clouds. But you can name the types of clouds.
For a brief second, you see a shadow forming throughout one of the clouds. First, it seems it's like quite a shallow kind of shadow that you can just about see, but it starts to get thicker and thicker and darker until you can see what appears to be the body of something moving through the clouds. For a brief second, you see a tail or perhaps part of a body move through the gaps in one of the clouds, and on this tail is a set of feathered wings. You see it very briefly before it darts back into the clouds.
What's that?
That, I believe, is a tempest.
Ooh.
What the fuck is a tempest?
It's a tempest.
What's a tempest?
They are exceedingly rare. In fact, I've only spotted maybe 2 in my lifetime. They are elemental wind creatures that are gargantuan and so sublimely beautiful. As far as I know, they are not likely to attack unless angered. But they are not native to this plane. We've only seen them in the astral plane, and those appeared very out of their depth. I believe they're native to the plane of air.
I mean, that would make sense.
Did you see it?
Yes, I saw it.
Wait, I think it's the... It's back! Dane! This time, even you can spot this. It appears that the body of the creature has come out of the clouds. And is moving actually quite closer towards, he's coming southward towards Geese. At this stage, you can see without the telescope, Susan, just with your amazing eyesight. I am amazing. And it's kind of rippling across the cloud cover, and every now and again you can see that it looks like almost a snake. However, its body is like a blue feather kind of downy texture. And it has its large white feathered wings. You haven't seen its face yet, but you do see ripples of its underbelly as it comes through the cloud line. It's definitely getting clearer and more obvious, but it appears to be kind of, as it starts to come towards Geese, it does for a second kind of seem to go to the side, and it maybe makes its way southeast, missing Geese. Someone needs to take away Tom's tome of foes. Don't know what you're talking about. Second I said Tempest, you Googled it, didn't you?
No, I don't think Adam even needed to. He just really like, shit.
But yes, no. It's majestic, and you can see that he's kind of just like in absolute awe, just staring at it now.
Should we worry about that? I feel like we should worry about that.
It appears to be avoiding us.
Yes.
I think we can just enjoy its grandeur.
But how long is it going to be here?
I don't know, but in fact, he bends over and he pulls something from his pocket, and he casts a spell on the floor. He puts his hand at what appears to be some kind of seams in the stone and pulls it apart, revealing this hole in the ground that is some kind of planar portal. Inside, he has some supplies, and he pulls out a canvas and some paints, and he sets himself up, and he starts to mix some colors together with a paintbrush.
Did he like cast a spell when he did that, or was that like from an item?
That was a spell.
Dane, wait, Darks. I don't know why I called you Dane. Darks, have you got your automatically adjust volume thing on? Because sometimes your volume is like super quiet.
Definitely does.
Painter wizard.
Yes, I do.
He's from the Wizard College of Design.
I have turned it off.
What are you doing? You painting him?
Yes, no, absolutely. Would you not want to capture this moment if you could?
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know, I'm also concerned for my safety. But
I've only explored the vastness of the universe, and
yes, we know
a couple of
us.
times. So
we get
it's
it.
an extremely rare opportunity, and he's now very intently kind of sketching and painting away.
Can I make a miniature out of it with my little miniature thing that I have?
Oh yeah, baby. Do you wanna see if we can do like a what performance check? See how like accurate it is.
Good it is. Okay. Oh, not gonna be good. Oh, 16. Okay.
So what are you using? The little model thing?
Yeah.
Okay. What did we say with like the limits of the model thing?
It's like a little 5 meter. No, not 5 meters. Sorry. Wait, I have it written down.
Okay.
Oh, where? I don't know. Do I even have it anymore? Did I get rid of that a little bit? It's just
Of what? What are you looking for?
the little miniature stuff that you gave me. Whatever.
Yeah, the paints.
Mm.
It's just literally paints, and you paint on like a flat surface, and it turns it into a little miniature of whatever you paint.
Okay. So with a performance roll of 16, you managed to create a quite intricate drawing of what you imagine the majority of this. I mean, you've seen bits of it. You haven't seen the entirety of the thing. So you kind of had to fill in some of the bits and bobs as to where you would think it might go. And you've got a pretty good representation. The feathers are quite detailed on the body and on the wings. You had to kind of guess what the face might look like. But guessing from like, mixing a little bit of kind of lizard, a little bit of bird. You kind of put something together that you think might be about right, and you give life to this little image, and it starts to spiral around your hand and kind of curls itself around your wrist and sits on top of your hand, and it kind of just like its tongue slithers out and it breathes a tiny little puff of smoke or steam, most likely. It's very impressive.
Oh, I didn't know they were gonna come alive. That's so cool. I thought it was just gonna make like little figures.
And it kind of just like looks at you, and then it unravels itself, and it starts to like play with your hair.
Wait, does Varkas notice this?
No, he is absolutely transfixed on trying to paint.
Okay, well, seeing as Susan didn't realise that it was going to come to life either, she looks at Dane like, huh? Good job. Okay, cool.
Like literally there's a little army of like dwarven minis.
Yeah, I made a bunch of dwarven minis who were just living, apparently, that I didn't realise.
Go back and they're all gone. It's a side quest.
Find the dwarven minis.
They've got themselves into some hilarious situations.
I mean, they're just all around the mansion all the time. They don't go away. They can't be cleaned up.
What were we saying when it was haunted?
Yes,
haunted
tiny dwarves.
Oh no.
Oh.
They're causing mischief everywhere.
The souls of the dwarves that fell in battle.
Oh, I like it. Either way, he is transfixed on his painting now.
Can I try and turn the telescope thing without breaking it?
Yeah, it doesn't appear to be fixed in place. It's got some angling on it. You're gonna try and have a look at the Tempest.
Yeah, if I can still see it, and I also want to use this just to have a look around, like
Sure.
see how far
Yeah.
I can see.
Mhm.
Like, can I see up to like Val Peak? Can I see anything going up there? Or...
So from where you are, you think that you could probably see like a shadow of Val Peak. It's quite a cloudy day. It's quite overcast. You can kind of see the shadow of where Val Peak would be. From here, you can also see kind of smoke rising from Cliff Harbor, but not in a kind of nefarious way, in more of a this is a shit town way. Yeah. You can also see the fog wall, although it kind of merges with the cloud line. It's quite dense, and it's definitely a darker shade of grey. But this is quite a hilly area that you're in, so there's difficulty really kind of seeing anything standing out.
Okay. But the world isn't on fire yet, so
The world's not on fire yet.
Yeah.
Good to know.
that's what I wanted to check.
No army of White Walkers or anything. What an interesting conundrum of using that to make something of the mansion into something else. Does that make it part of the mansion permanently and therefore always there, or does it disconnect you from the mansion and gets ejected every morning? What, using the little creation thing inside the mansion?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, let's be clear. If I was making dwarfs and I realised that one came alive, I would not make like 6 more. It would just be one.
I think they might only come alive at like a certain time, like Furbies.
Like Furbies.
You got them wet, and then it's midnight.
When Hyacinth
Furbies.
find out what's happened, she's just gonna be like out of her mind. Like, what? I saw them paint a little doll, but shit.
Maybe it's only if you paint things really well.
Magical Storm do magical things. The sequel to Indian in the Cupboard. That's one of my favorite movies. It's exactly what I was thinking of. Anyway, I'm not there. Continue.
So are you leaving Varkas to his painting, or are you going to try and show off a little bit? Show me your.
No, I don't want to show off. No, I don't want to be rude. Because I thought it was like a miniature, like a little, like Warhammer miniature type of thing,
Yep,
I would have
usually.
given him one of them because I wanted to make 2. Was my plan.
Do you
to
want to make a
one.
second one?
Yeah, if I can. Yeah.
Sure.
Just because you're doing something.
God, no.
Okay.
She can create life.
So when you draw a second little tempest, it is completely stationary when it comes into a figure.
DM undoing.
Huh? What'd you say?
What did you say?
It's a DM undoing.
No. This is planned.
I look at Dane.
Did you do it the same as the first one?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you want to roll a performance check?
11.
I mean, you've mimicked the same the shape of the miniature that you first made. It's very similar, but there were some minutiae detail bits that you couldn't quite do again. Kind of like you tried to style one wing so that it looked like it was up and the other one was down, but it kind of looks like it's slightly a different angle. Like maybe it doesn't look completely right. But otherwise, it's quite convincing.
Right. What's happening with the other one? Is the other one still around?
Just happily swirling itself, curling around your hair.
Can I make it like try and go on my hand? If I put my hand near
It
it?
seems very amicable, yeah.
Can I pet it? What happens if I
please.
try and pet it?
It kind of just seems to have a little happy face on it. Like, just...
And then Susan multi-classed into Warlock.
Oh, hey Trash, how you doing? Poke it with a rock. I just wanted to see if it had any like I could actually touch it, like it wasn't smoke
no, you
that
can
I could
touch
put my thing through. Okay.
No, you can touch it.
Okay, well Susan's very confused, given that, you know, this is where we shouldn't have RP'd this before and now it came to a real life thing, because this would have happened in RP if I would have known it would happen.
Welcome to D&D!
Shit. Okay. I don't want to give this cool new thing away, but now I don't want to give the other one away because it looks considerably less shit if he looks at me and is like, okay.
Well, hide one of them.
Where do I
Hi,
hide it?
questions. Hi, Amber.
Hey Amber, how you doing?
How we going, guys?
Bag. Okay, I'll put the one that's actually animating in Dox's bag of holding for a second.
Okay! You just like kind of wrap it up and it kind of wraps itself around your finger and your hand and you kind of just go...
And then I give Vargas the other one.
Oh, Susan, this is wonderful.
You're welcome.
You did this just now.
Yeah, just now. Just thought I'd join you for a
How
little
did
bit of art.
How did you make this?
Oh, I have some paints that I was gifted. They make
And they make
Yeah.
fascinating.
Eh?
Oh, it's beautiful, Susan. Thank you so much.
That's okay, you're welcome.
Oh, what an absolute... Oh, I'm going to have to repay you. That's absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much.
No, it's no problem. No problem at all.
Well, I will find a way to repay you at some point. Now, if you don't mind, I would quite like to return to my painting.
Yes, of course.
Unless there's anything that I can do to help. Are you okay?
Dane?
Oh no, we're fine. We're just leaving.
Well, thank you very much again for the dinner party last night. And Dane, you're welcome to use that telescope anytime. Just let me know.
Excellent, thank you. Well, enjoy your
So
painting.
you leave the rooftop.
Yep.
Find your way back down into the.
As soon as we're like slightly above, like below the where you can see, I'm already rummaging to pull out the little.
yeah. Okay. Okay, and the Tempest comes out. It looks a little bit hurt, a little bit wounded. It's a little bit more timid than it was before, but it's still quite happily. Like you pull it out and it'll kind of like wrap around Doctor's hand or Dane's hand, and it kind of slithers down your arm and like along your back, not down your clothes, but like along your back and like kind of up around your into your beard, and it nests itself inside your beard. You can kind of see it. Susan can see its head sticking out the front, but like you can just see its eyes. But you can see that its body isn't entirely like it's clearly found a way into your beard, nested itself down here somewhere, and its tail kind of peeks out in a way that like your beard's down here, its tail goes out like this. So it doesn't seem to be completely aware of where its entire body is, but its eyes are like inside your beard. That's all noticeable.
What should we name it?
Well, I think it's yours, so it's your naming.
Okay, I'm gonna have to think about this. Let's carry on.
Otherwise, it will be called Jebediah.
That's very true.
So, you're going to explore the rest of the keep?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, nothing else really becomes apparent to you as concerns for safety or anything like that. You get to explore some of the areas that you haven't really had a chance to look at yet. The mess hall that you use usually is somewhere you've been several times, and it's not especially impressive to you. But you have noticed that the construction of some additional like barracks has been completed. There are some extra rooms on the first and second floor that were being renovated as well. But the barracks are kind of like a double bed situation in a large hall at the south end of the building. It's not the most luxurious place to be, but it's definitely somewhere you could store and sleep quite a few people.
Hey, Mano.
If you give it a name, Tom will use it to hurt you.
That's a very good point. Forgot about that.
You can't influence my players like this, Adam.
The problem with having DMs in chat is they're like, I know what I do to freak people out. That's sad because I was like, wouldn't Doodle be a cute name for the little doodle?
Oh.
It's a feather noodle.
Feather doodle.
The noodle.
That's
Fanoodle.
it. Fanoodle.
Danger noodle is what it is.
It's a feathery danger noodle. It's got all kinds of feathers all over it.
Soft danger noodle.
Beautiful. In any case, you continue your patrol. Hyacinth, you are elsewhere currently.
I wanted to check with Savin first, and then if they went off to go do that, I'd go talk with Soph afterwards.
Okay. Well, you find Savid for once is sat down in the mess hall. He appears to be having some breakfast. It's one of the few times that you've seen him where he hasn't been busy attending to some guests or something. He seems to be a very busy person.
How is the fair today, Savid?
Oh, hello, Hyacinth. It's early morning still, thankfully. Things have been very busy with our new visitors, but they haven't caused any problems, which is nice. Often, people will come through and they might have some grievance that I have to attend to, but never imagined that my duties would have expanded quite this much from cleaning a dusty old keep to supporting the company of 100 so mercenaries.
Yes, we hadn't really planned on that either. How are you finding it difficult? Do you need help?
It's hard, but I know that it's worth it for the Lord of Light, and for my benefactor. He saved my life, and I would do anything for him.
Needing help doesn't mean you're not serving him, but if you are okay, then that's good. I actually had meant, how's the food? How is the fare today?
Oh, it's fine. It is what it is.
What is he eating?
He's eating currently just like a big old pile of bacon, just like a huge pile of bacon.
I was going to flavor it with prestidigitation and make it better for him, but I don't know that I can really improve upon the taste of bacon. Ooh, what if I made some of it peppered bacon? Does he seem like the type to like spicy food?
It's very difficult to tell from what little you know of whether he likes spicy food.
Okay, never mind. Trying to form a positive relationship with Savin is ongoingly difficult for him somehow. Well, that's good to hear. I will leave you to your breakfast.
Well, is there anything I can do to help you?
I just wanted to check and see how things were and how your meal was.
Well, it's thank you very much. Is all well with the rest of the party? How's King Dane?
Oh, His Grace is doing very well. He's currently surveying the grounds and checking on.
Fantastic. Oh, I should check in with him, see if there's anything he needs me to do.
I think he's just surveying the progress, so I'm sure he will touch base with you.
Well, fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope I see you soon. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you. He turns
Of
and
course.
gets back into his bacon.
Thank you.
Eating the bacon. This is the bacon eating dance.
Bacon is everywhere. I've thrown it all over the place.
It goes into the mouth.
First, because first he's cutting and he's plop, plop, plop.
It's exactly like that, Adam. The one person you try to impress and fuck up every time you're around them. The first time she met Savid, he just seemed like some person. So she like walked in and was like, "Go do this thing," and he was like, "Who the hell are you?" And she's like, "I'm telling you what to do." And he's like, "I'll do it for Dane, but not you." And then every time they talk, and she's like trying to like ease out of that, and he's like, "So King Dane." Right,
Every
it's
time you've
great.
spoken to, like the few times you've spoken to him before without saying King Dane or His Majesty or something, he was like,
King Dane, King, right? I know.
But
Savage.
you managed to leave in a way that does not seem to insult him in any way, which is good. So who is it you want to visit now?
What'd you say?
Is it Soft that you wanted to visit now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you find that outside in the kind of what seems to be made into a market square now, the courtyard, the Wayward now appears to be, they've moved it somewhat out of the way so it's not just intimidating ship right in front of the stronghold or the keep.
Oh, good, we have a dock now. Kidding.
It's somewhat now. It's behind the line of merchant stalls, and it's kind of more out of the way. You see that they've got a ladder that's kind of letting people come to and fro, and you see that Soph is at the base, the bottom of the ladder, along with some boxes, wooden boxes, and some kind of caskets that are just filled with goods. It appears that she's got a clipboard with her. She's doing some quartermasterly duties.
As I approach, I'll just like put a hand up in greeting and good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Oh, fine. I trust you have all rested well through the evening.
Yes. No, absolutely. The meal last night was tremendous. Very good company as well. Thank you very much for inviting us.
Yes, it was wonderful having you. I would say humble, but in my abode.
Quite. Very impressive.
Yes, thank you. We had, not to get straight to business, but as my compatriots are surveying the grounds and kind of taking stock of our situation, as they say, we had discussed last night, perhaps contracting some of your labor force. You have some artisans amongst your group who
Yes, we are. Yes, I'm kind of oversee the majority of the quartermaster and masterly and the sort of the labor forces, as it were. Though we have some
resource allocation, right?
Well, that appears to be what Varkas seems to think. Yes, it does make my job quite difficult, but happy to do it. Are there any in particular that you need to talk to?
Well, you had kind of grazed over a few skill sets. Of course, we have some crumbling mason work, and you mentioned having a mason. Question for you, is Soph wearing a uniform or an armband?
She's wearing an armband.
An armband. I've noticed that some are in uniforms and some have armbands like you. Is there a difference, or is it ease when you're sort of like not like off and about on a mission?
Usually in formal attire, we would stick to a full uniform. When in more casual situations, we try to have an armband. There's no demands upon us whether we wear whichever. It's more just etiquette rather than anything else.
Okay, thank you for satisfying my curiosity.
That's
But yes, so any other? I don't really know what you have available to you.
We have some scholars of varying aptitude levels and different specialities. We have a few varying. The problem with our organization is that we pick up people from lots of different backgrounds so that we might be prepared for any situation. The Mason that you refer to is actually part of a team that is he's part of a team of people that we use as sappers if ever necessary. Are you familiar with the term?
No, I've never heard that.
Okay, so a sapper is somebody who might undermine some kind of building defenses. So he's part of our sapping team.
That makes sense.
I can get you in part of the, in touch with the sapping team if necessary, but we've also got some herbalists. We have some spellcasters, tailors.
Tailors. That seems a bit of a luxury at the moment. You mentioned having scholars and them having a few specialities. Anything to do with elemental convergence, planar convergence, anything along those lines as it seems to be happening?
I'm afraid not.
Guy.
Well, I mean, you were at the dinner party, of course, which is why you might have got a bit of a grilling from Varkas about such things. We're very interested in the phenomenon that's happening upon this island, and we don't have any specialty scholars on the subject.
The only other thing I could think that might be useful then might be perhaps a theologist or a practicing cleric who has studied the history.
We've none of our crew have reported any significant thoughts or findings.
Okay. Then I suppose just if you have no use of a mason right now who might lead a team and help give our workers a bit of a better direction while they're repairing the sort of more crumbled bits of this stronghold, as it were, that would be very useful to us.
Well, as the quartermaster, I can see I oversee many teams, but I don't oversee the team itself directly. I can put you in contact with Daerd here, who will be able to better direct you.
Okay.
He is the leader of the sapping team.
Daerd here. Sorry, I'm making notes. Yes, that would be lovely. And you mentioned picking people up. Do you recruit? Do you have like offices spread about? I work for a widespread organization myself, and we have something along those lines.
A widespread organization. Who do you work for?
Oh, they're just a conglomerate of merchants, really.
I see.
So I deal more in contracts than in saving the world, but when duty calls, or when you put in a situation like this, then you do what you must.
Okay. Out of character, are you referring to guild work, or are you trying to deceive about Harper's?
I'm out of character. What she's doing is she mentioned, we have ways of picking people up and forming teams that we need, and so she's wondering about how they go about recruiting. And if,
but you said you work for an organization.
Yeah. I'm talking about the Federation.
Okay, so you're not referring to any Harper stuff.
No.
Okay. It's just it would be it would be an objective moment for me to ask whether or not you need to do a deception check or anything like that.
Oh yeah, no, because the guild, I'm not like the only person that goes and
for sure
does remote contracts for them. So they recruit kind of as they go, but don't have necessarily a kind of settled down way of doing it. So she's like both trying to gain information, and then also if they were to ask questions, she would talk freely about how they just kind of meet people as they go and haven't really like made a plan specifically on how to recruit. And she could like, I guess it might be a little deceptive to like feign interest, but she would also take genuine interest in if they had like a non-nefarious way of recruiting people.
Okay. Sure. I mean, so she says, in our travels, we often give the opportunity for people to join us. It's not so much that, I mean, sometimes we might requisition someone's skill set and they find their way into our employ. For the most part, I mean, many of us are considered adventurers, and we are paid in loot.
That makes sense. We have similar methods, just encountering people that have skill sets we're looking for, and mostly contracts and negotiation. But occasionally laborers join as well when they have goods or services that we do not currently have a supply for. So I understand that. Sometimes it's requisition and sometimes it's chance. Do I believe her 18 insight?
Yes.
And them. Okay. Lovely. Well, if you could point me in the direction of Dantier then, or let me know when I can request an audience.
I haven't seen him this morning, which means that he might still be aboard the ship, but he will likely be down shortly. If you are happy to wait.
Yes, I have a few things I should attend to, and I'll just come back in a little bit and see if they've emerged.
No worries. So is there anything else that you wanted to do, or are you happy to just potter around and kind of wait?
I'm going to go find Daerd and Susan.
Okay. Well, I mean, they're out and about exploring the castle and the grounds.
Actually, I would go find them after a while, but first I would like survey what's going on with all of the merchants here, because it just seems like something calming she might do to return to some sort of normal.
Sure. Yeah.
In the market.
So, I mean, currently there are a couple new stalls that you haven't seen before. They appear to be selling similar kind of stuff to people who have been here previously, but it's a new cart, a new owner, a couple of different brands or whatever of whatever garbage they're peddling that you're not interested in buying necessarily. It appears there's a decent turnover of people who are showing up and trying to sell their goods here.
Hill giants.
No hill giants at the moment, no.
Okay.
And you spend some time kind of browsing their wares, kind of just assessing how everyone's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone seems mostly a-okay. Nobody has, yourself included, nobody has spotted the giant floating lizard in the sky.
Yep.
Flying snake.
And even if given the chance, you probably wouldn't see it. So.
But you find your way back to your party.
Mm-hmm.
You see on the way to meet them, you see Casimir is actually in the yard to the north. He appears to be training.
By himself?
Yeah, well, he has his bow and arrow out and he's practicing his aim.
I think I'll leave him to that for now, since he was questioning his abilities. He probably needs some time to himself. So yeah, go continue on to Daerd and Susan.
Yep.
Hyacinth. She points to Dane's beard in the eyes.
Roll a
Just
perception
because,
check.
yeah. 13.
Okay, I'm gonna roll its elf.
Oh my gosh, he's got stats for the He knew it.
You see it. You see that there is a little set of eyes poking out of Dane's beard, and what appears to be a small feathered blue tail at the base of it.
Is this rude to ask? Is that supposed to be there?
Susan made it.
You know those paints that you gave me?
Yeah.
And I made a bunch of things last night, and they were fine. They were just normal miniatures. Well, I made basically. Me and Dane went up to the roof of the tower that I can't remember what the tower was called.
The bell tower.
The bell tower. And Varkas was there with a fuck me, Dane. Dane, you say it. Telescope.
Fuck me,
Oh,
Dane.
Dane's not into that.
Rude.
Rude.
But he
Well,
saw.
you're too tall. It would make his
Let's just
Ra-
stop it right there.
The ratios are all wrong.
Mm.
But he saw Varkas saw a tempest in the sky. You know what a tempest is? I didn't know what a tempest was.
We
What
both know
I-
what Tempest is now.
I mean, she's pretty well read. Should I roll like a history or arcana maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I say arcana. 'Cause
Arcana.
they're- Yeah.
Arcana.
Those 3 extra points. Also a 13. But
Lucky 13.
no. I mean, those are storms, aren't they? Just really significant storms. Those,
Oh, they
those
look like this.
tempests?
And then I want to try and like fish it out carefully. Like,
I'm gonna like. stick
What
my
are you
hand
doing?
in
You
there.
trying to try and get it by the body, or are you trying to like pull its tail out?
I'll put its tail out. I'm just like trying to encourage it to come out.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, as you put your, kind of put your hand of your fingers into your beard or whatever, it seems to like part of its body seems to attach itself to you somehow, and as you like pull your hand out, it seems to unravel itself backwards. You kind of bring your hand out from behind it, and there is a wrapped around his hand and down its wrist is maybe a let's say 12-inch long snake creature that is its body is covered in like a blue downy feathers, and it has its own white feathers along its body. It has the color kind of fades from the body's blue into the white.
So you're saying you've named this tempest, or that this is a? I don't know what you're talking about. You made this.
Yeah, no, I made this. Varkas saw one in the sky.
Much bigger than this. Not
Much
this
bigger
small.
than this. Huge. He said it wasn't a big deal, but he was amazed by it and started painting it. And I thought I would paint it in a miniature, but then it turned into a real thing. And I hid it from Varkas and made him another one that was normal. But this is the animated one. But anyway, there's a tempest in the sky that's from another plane. But look! Cute little...
Also,
That's a lot.
He also opened an interdimensional portal in the bell tower floor and pulled out a massive canvas and paint and started painting.
Also that.
Just not.
So he has some command of magic.
Yes.
That's not an altogether out of the norm spell, especially for someone who travels as often as he does. You know how my mansion works as a pocket dimension? Some people have less impressive ones where they just store goods. It's kind of like your bag in a way, except they don't need to carry a bag. I almost picked up that trick and I decided against it.
Oh.
Well, this is... And nothing else has ever come alive that you've created with
Well, I
those?
mean, have I created anything else previously to this? No. I
The
don't
little
think so.
figures, the dwarves.
Just the dwarves. No, didn't I try and make a little version of that boy's granddad who died? Or something like that? Was that a thing?
I think you might have.
The
Or
sound didn't come alive.
No. Oh.
it's a
I
mini
don't remember you
version.
doing that. It's possible, but I don't remember it.
I can't remember. But nothing's come alive before, no.
I knew that was a bizarre little shop, but
I mean, he
did you
seems
have
friendly.
one of those feelings like Dane did when he tried to send that thing away and then all of them left? Perhaps this was some sort of divine intervention?
Did I feel like it was anything different when I was doing it? Compared to the one I did the dungeon?
Let's do a retrograde perception check.
Oh, they're my favourite.
What does that mean?
Just roll a perception.
You roll a perception check now, and we apply it to the past.
Oh, right. Alright.
No.
14. No, didn't feel any different.
Well, it's not as if this is normal, so who knows what crazy things could happen when it seems that all the planes are converging or whatever is breaking down.
True.
I wonder if the gods are sort of held back by a divine kind of gate or something, I believe. I'm not very versed in religion, but I wonder if whatever this is, since it has to do with perhaps and she like starts to look around and actually like realize that there might be people around. Is there anyone around us right now?
Yeah, so you're essentially in the hallway on the ground floor.
Okay.
Some
So,
people are coming and going, nobody of interest.
Stage whisper then, like if gods are being born and dying, perhaps there's some sort of breakdown that's allowing more power to get through. This is not enemy contracts. Maybe we should speak to the sage. I feel like that's probably a good place to start.
Yeah.
Well, maybe.
Well,
As how drunk he is.
yes.
Mhm.
If he's very drunk, do you think you might be able to... Is alcohol technically a poison? I mean, perhaps you could fix it.
Worth a shot.
Alcohol is definitely a poison. We talked about this last time.
Yep.
Did we out of character talk about that though, or did we in character talk
I think
about
we
it?
out
out.
character.
Yeah. So this was an in character.
I mean, worth a shot.
Yes, I have to buy some time anyway. Apparently, in order to potentially contract the services of the Mason, I must speak to the group leader.
Oh.
Tempest is hissing.
The Tempest is hidden, is that what you said?
Hissing, that's why I was...
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yes. Oh no, have I angered it?
Wait, it can talk too? It can
Wait.
make sounds? Jesus.
Wait,
Hey
so
guys,
before we continue
I'm
on,
a snake.
tell me more about the big one.
I'm so slithery.
Tell you more about
References! Tom hates memes, don't forget that, everybody.
But he loves references. Repetitive references.
Which certainly aren't what memes are.
that.
Before we go, tell me more about the... Did I see the big one when I looked up? No, because we were in the hallway when I found them.
Did you what?
I wouldn't have looked up if we were inside, because that would have been really exciting.
Yeah,
that
there was a
maybe we were-
roof above your head.
Yeah. Assuming maybe we were walking, or if we were already inside, let's just forget that I stated I never looked up. Or maybe there's a window.
We could always go back up and
Yeah, if
see
you want
if
to
he's
try and
still
see
there.
it.
Yeah.
You might finish his painting as well, and you'd can see
Maybe
that.
it's better if I don't. But what do you know about them? Is this a benign creature?
According to Vargas, yes. He said he's only seen a few of them. They're very rare. He was extremely excited by being able to see one here. He said they were normally from the elemental plane of air, but they had seen them in the astral plane because he loves to talk about the astral plane.
Oh boy, can't get him to shut up about the astral plane.
We said they're mostly benign unless they're attacked or feel threatened. And then I imagine that they are an unstoppable force for death and destruction.
I wouldn't be surprised if it were something equally ridiculous. I have to wonder, I mean, I suppose it's normal to be in awe of such a creature, but given the circumstances and this absolutely, awesome in the true sense of the word beast arrives and he's so giddy about it, makes me a little suspicious, but perhaps I'm not able to accurately judge his intentions at the moment, so let's go speak to Sage Galen.
Okay.
Onward, you go to see Sage Galen,
Mhm.
whom you find is eating breakfast at his desk.
Is
Not
breakfast
wrong.
wine?
No, he looks quite content. He's got some eggs and some French toast, or Biscarian toast, and he's munching away. Hello, guys.
Hello, how are you feeling today?
Oh, great.
Good, good.
Oh, apart from the whole, impending death thing.
Oh, yeah.
There is that.
You giving up on the old alcohol?
Yeah.
Insight.
I don't need an insight check for that. That was
Yeah,
obvious.
I want an insight check to see if I can smell his breath as he tries to lie to me.
Just do like a flame snap in your hand and see if the room catches fire.
I mean, he doesn't seem to be completely genuine about his giving up alcohol, but he didn't want to raise concerns.
That's fair. Do you know what a tempest is?
A what?
A tempest.
Like a
Great
storm?
monstrous. That's what I thought, but apparently they're these monstrous beasts from the elemental plane of air. Ringing any bells?
Monstrous beasts. I have a book. I have a book. He goes over to his library and he starts. Monstrous manual? No.
I'll call him
B or M?
Fiend folio? No.
Fiend.
Okay. That's to leaf through it. Tempest. No?
No.
No, I've never heard of a tempest before.
No.
Well, there's one outside.
Yeah, there's that.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, it kind of looks like this, and then I try and get the little doodle, as we'll call him from now on.
Danger noodle.
Danger Noodle. Doodle the Dangerous Flying Fun Noodle. Yes, Adam. His full name.
DDFFN.
Dfn.
Oh, we could call him Dee They?
So you bring him out. Oh, he's adorable.
Yeah, but imagine this, but like way, way, way bigger.
He's not paying attention to you at all.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're cute. Oh, you're cute. Oh my god. This is completely.
Well, we found that he likes snakes.
We know what to get him for Christmas.
Right, show you a proper image of the danger noodle.
Yes.
And that's when the doodle eats Galen, yeah.
Somehow, it's like unhinges his jaw and time and space.
Right. Oh, this is a freelance illustrator, Aaron Miller. Put it in Twitch chat.
Oh.
Ooh, an art station link. Oh, bitch.
Mm.
That means it's gonna be fancy.
But does it? So its body still feels corporeal, even though it looks like clouds.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very soft feathers. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that would be weird, right? I'm like, that's the weirdest thing we've encountered today. Second question for you, Galen. Sage.
Yes. Yes.
Have you ever encountered any magic items that create life?
Well, illusions, maybe, yeah.
What if they're not an illusion?
What do you mean? Where have you found this little fella? Wait a second.
Yes. What you're thinking? Yeah, that. I made that out of paint and turned into a midge, but now it's a thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
He's kind of cute, though.
It's pretty cute, you're right.
But
how did it happen?
It's magic, innit?
Why is that the exclusion for everything? Did it bite
Nipped
you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know it can bite.
I'm sorry. Boop, boop. I'm
That's
sorry.
its attack.
Oh,
How much
that's-
damage did it do?
Oh, that's Snoot.
Yes, but this is a normal magic.
What does he have on his plate? French toast and eggs?
Yes.
While he's distracted, I'm just gonna like lean over and take a little bit of egg and like hold it in front of the little thing.
Never touch a man's breakfast. That's so rude.
He doesn't have any.
Some people have to pay for their breakfast. Some of them don't just magically appear. They have to actually put effort in and make their own breakfast.
I mean, aren't we
Yeah.
paying for his breakfast?
I mean,
I think that was part of the deal because we broke his tower. I mean, his tower got broken, and we.
I had
Yeah,
nothing to do with that.
so you put it in front of the little tempest.
Yeah.
In front of Doodle. He goes, starts to like eat it.
Does it
Throws
have
in the
like?
air,
It has to eat.
gobbles it.
Oh, okay. It's definitely real.
Does it have like a tongue and stuff, or is it just like Barbie doll in there?
No, it has a tongue and stuff.
Oh my god.
No.
You've made a real thing, Susan.
I mean,
What if it grows up? Is this the biggest it's ever going? We don't know. We don't know. Oh
I'm
man,
sure it's like one of those mini pigs that never will grow up into a big pig.
a micro pig.
A micro pig.
yeah, but you hear about all those stories of people who buy a micro pig and then it grows into like a normal pig. like it's just
micro pigs are just baby pigs.
they just
That's all
lie.
they are.
Doug thought it was a micro. Turns out not so much. Well, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, I guess that's what we can do.
But Galen, like, lots of magic seems to just be suddenly significantly more powerful. Like, Susan has made these miniatures before. They've not turned into real creatures. Otherwise, we'd have lots of little dwarfs running around.
What?
But she made miniatures of
I
dwarfs.
made dwarfs. It was a long night last night.
You made
Yeah,
miniatures of dwarves. Why?
Oh well, it was all the dwarves we lost, whilst we were fighting, and I wanted to, just feeling.
In
That's,
service of the
Yeah.
kingdom.
that's very noble, Lady Susan.
Thank you.
Okay. What else? What other spells have you cast that have gone?
I mean, I cast a little banish spell just to banish a few demons and devils, and then it kind of banished the whole of them for as far as I could see in every direction.
Oh my goodness! But you're a man of the faith. Perhaps there was some kind of divine intervention.
I mean, perhaps, but
Did you feel any connection to your god?
not more than usual, I don't believe.
Fascinating.
It was more of external assistance,
In what sense?
in the sense that there was like a lightning bolt that came down and sort of hit.
This was during the storm.
Yes,
Under the storm.
yes, in the middle of the head demons and devils fighting it out.
I think it was more of like a metaphoric lightning bolt, right? But you weren't actually struck by lightning. Were you? You were actually struck by lightning?
I don't remember. I thought there was actually lightning.
There was actually lightning. Yeah.
Just-
I don't think it was like actual lightning because it like
I
hit
know
my
it.
focus or-
No, it struck your focus. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, just kidding.
It's more of an arcane lightning
Hmm.
than an actual bolt of lightning.
So it wasn't like me summoning a load of power. It was more like something else was like, boop.
Loose.
Interesting. Well, perhaps it was linked to the storm somehow. Then, perhaps there's something. I've.
Do you have a book?
He goes through his books.
He does have a book for the storm because he found a little passage, remember? So
Well, that wasn't a book. That was many small passages across many books that I put together. It takes a lot of hard work to be a sage,
I'm
Hyacinth.
not saying
Okay.
a bit of literature in one form or another.
One moment. Can I start sleeping through? So, see, I have heard of wild magic.
Not to be confused with Metallica's Ride the Lightning.
Gets metal as fuck in here. Wild magic? Perhaps it's something to do with wild magic.
What's that?
Huh.
Well, wild magic is a type of magic.
Mhm.
It's like you get your powers from your gods. Hyacinth weaves the form of the world with her voice and her song, and some gets their powers from ancient deities or other worldly beings. Some channel it through their blood, and in some cases this is a draconic, and others it is of the world, and it is not drawn from another but from within, and they can't always control it very well. Occasionally this is referred to as wild magic, and it can go awry. You see, normal magic might occur. You might cast your fiery balls, as you do.
Pardon?
You might cast, you know the spell, the fiery balls.
Yes, I've heard of that one.
Fireball, yeah.
Yes, fiery balls. You might cast your fiery balls, and instead of fiery balls, flowers.
Oh.
Flowery balls.
Flower balls?
That would be really
Fire
nice.
In a battle, that might be quite difficult, but you might be trying to cast flowers, and it might turn into a fireball. So,
I'm not
equally,
sure which of those situations is worse, to be honest.
well, it depends on how many children there are. He looks very morose for a second. But yes.
I feel like Sage has a dark past.
Somebody tried minor illusion and something went better.
Trying to impress a lady and instead
Turned her into a potted plant.
But well, perhaps that's it. Perhaps it's something somehow linked to that.
perhaps, but that's not where I draw my power from.
That
So
doesn't
where,
mean it couldn't bolster you, or I mean, you know that I have the ability to sort of magically encourage you.
it is true.
Well,
Nice.
perhaps there is this storm is creating some kind of strange activity that interferes with your magic.
Could be it.
And you say that they didn't. Out how many figures did you make of these dwarves?
3.
3. You made 3,
Mm-hmm.
and you made all 3 of those in the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Hyacinth, is your mansion of another plane?
Yes, it's a bit of a pocket dimension.
So it's unaffected by the storm.
Perhaps. I don't
Inside
know.
the plane would be unaffected by the storm, perhaps.
Okay. That's reasonable to assume. I know it usually takes me away from here, but I don't know with the sort of blending or having of the different planes if that necessarily completely, well, I bet different dimension might be altogether separate from the plane. So it's not reasonable to assume that that's one of the few places that will remain untouched by all of this.
But statistically speaking, you've only used your figure doodad, your painting doodad,
Yes.
2 times
Mm-hmm.
on our plane under the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And doing so, one of those times created this, oh no, you do a little danger noodle, yes you do. You do a little danger noodle. Statistically speaking, that's not significant. We would have to conduct some further tests.
You just want more danger noodles.
I don't think we should paint them just in case. Can we just do like butterflies or something? Listen, I know you want one, but these could be very dangerous.
I think everyone in the party should have a danger noodle.
Oh, I want that now. Damn it.
But perhaps it would be safer to not use any magic at all. If you create a danger noodle and it actually turns into a fireball,
Yes.
But
fiery balls everywhere.
Would it be cute?
Cute fireball.
Because like this didn't turn into something dangerous,
Well,
but it didn't turn into something completely arbitrary. Think of all the different things it could have possibly turned into, but it turned into the thing that Susan drew.
correct. Fascinating. Have you ever tried any magic that hasn't worked? During the storm, that is.
Yes. I don't remember what I was trying to do, but it failed.
Failed.
In Perch. When this first, well, I don't know when it first happened, but when we first became aware of it, I was putting out fires. I think I tried to stop somebody from casting a spell and my counter spell didn't work.
I see.
Did we not also see the lightning strike one of the demons or the devil that was fighting when it went to cast a spell?
What was the result?
I think someone died.
Well, that doesn't sound uncharacteristic for demons and devils. Was the nature of his spell lightning-y?
No, I don't think it was.
I see.
What the spell was.
But you were struck by lightning as well.
Mm-hmm. And it aided me.
But it aided you.
Yes.
Fascinating. So perhaps there's some kind of correlation here where your spells are either more efficient or less. Or they function normally?
Sometimes they have functioned perfectly fine, I cast Dimension.
Well, but in that case, there's also the lack of... With wild magic, anything can happen.
Right.
Perhaps that magic might be enhanced, but it could also be a beard of feathers or something. Whereas in the case of our magic so far, it hasn't worked, or it's got stronger, or is more powerful version of
I
what it's
see.
supposed to be. Perhaps
Yeah.
it's a spectrum.
Less wild and more like surges.
Fascinating.
Can I just start casting light and then like extinguishing it, casting light just over and over and over and over again? Just like
Sure.
while he's talking.
Yeah. Okay. So how many times are you going to do it?
And then just like 10 times or something. Just like idly be like boop, boop,
Okay,
boop,
well,
boop.
for statistic, let's just break this down into statistics. Okay, so 33.333% of the time, nothing happens. 33.333% of the time, it works normal. And 33.3% of the time, it is significantly brighter than normal and consumes a lot more of the space than it usually would.
Oh.
Ah.
Well,
You're basically just like, nothing. Okay. Ah! Okay.
Dane jumps every time the light comes on.
Oh,
Yes.
that's worrying.
That could also be very helpful.
What if I'm just thinking of all the terrible things that could happen. What if I tried to step through my dimensional door and end up a mile away instead of 500 feet?
What if I cast Fireball 3 times?
One will be really amazing and one won't work.
Or Earthquake, like the danger
True.
could sink the whole island.
Might solve the problems, actually.
Not a bad idea.
Well, we got that back up. I do only have one use a day, so it's going to take at least like
3
4
days. In 3 days, Dane God.
On the 4th day, Dane sank the world.
On
Yeah.
the 4th day, we took the ship and we left the stupid place. No, I'm kidding. Hit the reset button. Something tells me Von Carstein will just fly away, so I doubt that will solve much of anything.
It'll solve us being stuck on this island.
Yes, that's true.
I had forgotten that you aren't natives. I suppose you might want to leave after you're finished here. If the world doesn't end.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll worry about that when it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
True.
I suppose it might be hard to be attached to this island after being brought here only to be unable to leave.
Yeah, I can't say I'd ever want to come back. I don't know if that will change.
Well, as a native, I am sorry to hear that. But
People are well, most of the people are lovely. The ones who aren't consumed or undead or trying to turn into a god are quite nice most of the time.
well, we've all had to grow up in dire circumstances. And dire circumstances, in some cases, create dire individuals.
That's fair.
In any case, I suppose you want to leave the danger noodle with me.
Well, that's a very important question because obviously it needs looking after and can't.
Yes. Obviously.
I don't think many people should be aware of its existence.
Well, I never leave here, so.
And it
And
would
I'm
need
a
a lot
kooky old man. They'd expect me to have something crazy like a danger noodle.
but you'd have to be able to be attentive.
I'll feed it and I'll walk.
You promise to not drink too much around it.
Or
Because
at
you needs to
all.
be safe at all times.
Doodle will be my child.
Okay.
Giving up the danger noodle.
Yay!
Like, I don't know why I bother rolling inside checks. I'm like, yeah, sure, sounds to me seems legit. This is a contract. Doesn't study it.
Okay, you'll promise that you'll let us know if anything happens to Danger Noodle and if you need help with him at any time.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Danger noodle. You're so sweet.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Just like when someone's going through rehab and you get them like a plant to take care of. But we're like,
He had one drunk night. Come on, guys.
he said he had
Concern.
been drinking heavily lately.
Well, now he's got danger noodle. He'll be
Yeah.
fine.
I just,
And
our
Like
sage.
stay hydrated bot says, you should have consumed at least 8 ounces or 240 milliliters of water.
Does beer count?
No.
It's got water in it.
I mean... Are you
That's
drinking, Tom?
Coke, isn't it? Or Pepsi. You like Pepsi?
Oh yeah. Hissy.
Dr. Pepper.
Oh.
They have that over there? I bet you don't have the good one though.
What's the good one?
The one
No,
with the
no,
pure
it's
cane
not.
sugar.
With the what?
Pure cane sugar? As opposed to like
Oh, pure
corn
cane
syrup or
sugar.
whatever. Yeah.
I thought that was like a mixture of
Cocaine
Cocaine.
sugar?
cocaine and sugar.
Yeah. Nope.
Pretty sure we don't have that. Yeah, I'm pretty confident about that answer.
Dr. Pepper is bottled in Texas. Or it was. I don't know if it still is.
Oh. Wow.
I played at the opening of the cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper launch in college.
Yeah. Oh.
Got a t-shirt and a free can of really terrible cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper. It was awful.
Yeah, I don't think you can put those together. Cherry vanilla.
And Dr. Pepper just Anyway. On that note.
Sponsored by Pepsi.
You leave the gentleman to his danger noodle?
Can you not phrase it that way though?
Yeah.
You leave the gentleman with his new pet?
Yes.
Yep.
Cool.
Could we take a break? Because I need to go get some water.
Yeah, go, go, go. We got about an hour remaining.
Okay.
Hey, guys. Tom Entertainment. Katie, you're not here. You got to tell me what to do. At first I was afraid. I was petrified. God, something without you by my side. And blah blah da 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 blah da da. And I was strong. Something. Hey Dave, how's it going, buddy? How's my week been? I'll see someone nice in chat throwing me a bone, not making me sit here in silence on my own. The rest of you suck. My week has been good, thank you. Should have gone Rickroll. I follow this Twitter account that is saved you a click or something. there is basically like when people use clickbaity titles on their tweets or the links or whatever, they've clicked on it for you, and then just said in the tweet, they quoted the tweet and then just put whatever like the clickbait was, and one of them just was, "This video is just a rickroll." And I was like, "Well, thank you. You've saved me a lot of time and incredible boredom." Tempest is a hell of a monster threat to throw out. Yes, do not fear. It is it was it was it was a calculated risk. But no, my week's been fine. Thank you very much. Been chilling out, relaxing with Greta and Greta's housemate and Greta's pets. And it's been lovely. Lots of good food, lots of good company. But this next week is probably more like I should probably get back to my work and actually doing work stuff. So, wow. I have a health and safety thing to go to on Tuesday that is 5 hours long. It's 5 hours long worth of health and safety, and I've done it before. It's an annual top up on the health and safety. And I'm kind of just curious to know what would happen if I didn't go. Because I'd quite like to not go. Patients, yeah. It's because it's a brain imaging lab, and you need to be able to take people out of the MRI and resuscitate them, I guess. It's so boring. 5 hours. It starts at 9 a.m. Effort. And it's just shit. It's just shit. Hello.
Hello. You alright?
Mm-hmm. At least that's useful. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Hey, Boom.
To be fair, I'm very forgetful as well, so I am likely to forget how to resuscitate people. I know how to put people into the safety position.
Oh, the recovery position.
That's it. Recovery position.
You don't know what it's called, though.
No. Not good with words. Docs 5.
Harley, our lab safety training is put sharp objects in sharp containers and not your hand. I mean, it's
surely
important.
sharp containers isn't safe. Surely you want
Containers for sharp
round...
things. Have you never seen the sharp containers? Like the public ones? Okay. I know I'm dumb for a dumb joke. Kidding. Oh.
We gotta have my dumb jokes.
I like your dumb jokes.
Ooh. Right.
And
Everyone's returned.
Fire.
Fantastico. I got a message from Yaz, but I haven't had a chance to read it because it's a voice clip, and you can't read voice clips.
Unless you have visual voicemail.
Good point.
Do people have that?
I could if I wanted to pay for it. I don't.
No, thank you.
It's as bad as like captions that you see on the TV or whatever when you're watching it, and somebody says something and it's close, like phonetically.
Oh yeah.
Some people have that for their streams now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very
Really?
wrong sometimes. Yeah. There's a program that does it, which is kind of cool, but a lot of the times it's wrong. If you're like swearing and things like that, it's like what?
We are using Boom or Zoom.
We are using
Boom.
Zoom.
I was reading while speaking and it didn't. Yeah.
We haven't decided on whether we're going to swap to the King version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Boom.
Anyway, you've left Sage Galen and Danger Noodle. Where to next?
How much time has passed? Does it seem reasonable to go back and inquire about Dontir?
Yeah.
If you all would prefer not to go with me, I understand. But you're welcome to if you would like.
Don't mind. I could sit here making more miniatures all day if you wanted me to, though, just in case, you know. We all wanted danger noodles, but... Dogs, yes.
I'm still worried that it's going to grow into, well, whatever size you saw. That seemed so worrying. So I
And we
think
can
I'm...
release it.
Into the wild.
Wherever the goal, where to next? Wherever the quest givers are.
The gold exclamation marks in the mini map. Yeah. Yeah.
You're going back to the wayfinder, the base of the ladder, to see if Soph has any information about Dantier. Well, as you get closer to her, you can see that she's in the middle of a conversation with someone who appears to be one of the market stall owners. But she sees you approach, and she goes, and she points towards a very rotund dwarven fellow. He has quite dark black skin and a kind of equally dark black beard. So he kind of merges into it a little bit, and it's hard to see where the beard starts and where his skin appears. He appears to be a I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Druga?
Oh, Durgar?
Durgar?
We pronounce the R's because they exist. Durga. Is that better?
Durgar?
I mean, it's how
It's one of those words I never had to actually say out loud, and now I have to say it out loud. I'm a bit like, shit, I don't even know how it's... You know when you kind of skim read something, and you're like, okay, I know what it looks like now. I don't ever have to properly, like, deconstruct it. And I had it in my head, and I was like, oh, wait. How do you actually say this word? Let's look it up. Let's look at this guy's...
That's just how they say it on Critical Role. Durgar.
Durgar. So like, scroll through one of the old manuals. Oh, not the devil's fucking section. Honestly, Durgar. Anyway, so he's basically a. They have like blackish grey.
Like deep gnomes.
They are deep dwarves.
Deep dwarves.
Yes. They are dwarves of the Underdark.
It would be. Okay. I'll head over that way.
Okay.
What's he doing?
He's kind of plodding around. He's chilling with a couple of friends, having a drink.
So not working?
It's about like kind of late morning now.
Okay. So I'll just kind of like meander over that direction and put my hand up, greeting. I hear your name is Dantier.
Hey, my name's Dantier.
Well,
Who are you?
My name's Hyacinth. My pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure. It's all yours. I'm
Of course.
not sure who you are.
I'm one of the what would you call us? And I turned to like Susan and Dane. Owners?
Yeah.
The
well, owner is a strong word.
Oh.
Current residents.
Current residents of the establishment that you
We're not the deed holder.
yeah. Current residents of the establishment that you all are currently residing around, within, above, slightly.
What can I do for you?
Well, as you might have guessed, we've been... This place has seen better times, I suppose, would be the best way to phrase it. We were working on some areas, and Varkas mentioned that you have various laborers, and Soph pointed out that you have a mason, which I found to be odd at first, since you don't appear to need one for the ship. And Varkas mentioned that we might be able to make use of them.
Oh, aye. He's giving away access to my lads, is he?
Well, I'm sure you're still able to say no if you would like.
I am!
I don't really know what
Say
you're.
no if I like.
Mhm.
I don't know why he's giving away all of our resources to. I don't know you.
You're right, you don't. But
I don't know if you've spoken to Soph or anyone. You might have found out that we're not builders, we're sappers.
Yes, infiltration, I understand. But the reason I assume that somebody who is skilled with stonework might be on a team of infiltrators to destroy said stonework is because of their expertise. So they must have some knowledge in building it. And while you're here, if you have no other use for them, we might contract that.
It's racist.
Racist?
Because I'm a dwarf. You think I know about rocks and stones?
No, I assume the mason does. Are you the mason?
I'm his boss.
All right. Well, do you know about rocks and stones?
It's racist.
No, I'm asking you.
All right, you can have some time with him. I don't think he's doing anything.
I suspected as much. No other stonework to be done around here. What's the cost?
Well, for you, it's 50 gold pieces for the day.
50 for the day. You're squatting on our land and it's 50 for the day? I think
Oh,
we
you
could come
heard
to
me.
better terms than that.
I think you'd find it difficult.
Maybe he needs to start charging some rent for all these people who are staying here.
Yeah, I suppose so. We really should, I guess.
About 50 gold pieces a day to
I
cover it.
think you'll find that we're not quite on the land, we're outside. You see that I'm actually residing on this ship here. And you said you were the owners or the current residents, did you say? I didn't hear what you said about who lives here.
Well, there are many people here, either under our employ or under our protection. Do you know anything about what's going on in this island? Do you know that you're likely trapped here?
Have you seen our ship?
Yes, and I understand that it was pulled here against your will. And you haven't left yet, so that tells me that you might be
I
stuck
think
here.
against our will's a bit of an interesting term you've used there. Against our will.
So you came here of your own accord in the middle of demons and devils and elementals raging, and you had a terrible battle, and you landed because you could leave at any point, and you chose to lose people instead of landing. Doesn't seem like the best business decision.
I just sap walls. I do as I'm told. And
Yes, well,
it doesn't seem like Varkas owes you anything.
no, not necessarily.
But he's my boss.
Mm.
All I do is he says, not what you say. If you want to see my boy, you're going to give me 50 gold.
Can they see that? I don't know if you still have the chat thing up. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah,
I love
they
that. Well, perhaps I will speak to Varkas.
About some pancakes. Draw some pancakes. You successfully make a danger noodle.
Is it an animated danger noodle?
It's an animated danger noodle.
Very excited. I did it again. It's a danger noodle. Okay, cool. Carry on.
Wait, no, is she like cooing enough that I'm like, what in the world? Oh no.
Turn around, Susan just covered in danger noodles.
Covered in danger noodles. The queen of danger noodles, I'll have you know.
Oh my god. And that's how Susan became Daenerys.
I'd also like to point out that Dante is the name, or one of the names of Time's characters. Is the name of his character he's currently playing in his Curse of Strahd game. The one time he's not here.
Should have told him.
That's what happens when you name things.
They They hurt you.
It's the DM curse.
Backfired this time.
I'm going to leave and not make it. I don't want to make it seem like we're A, in that much need, and B, willing to cow to this lowling. So I just kind of leave the, well, maybe I will speak to Varkas then and turn to walk away.
All right. He shares it. He kind of glances at Dane just to kind of see what the vibe is like there. Dwarves in Durgar don't always necessarily have the best history.
No.
Bit at odds, that.
Dane is like in like kingly, I need to be polite to people mode. So
Is he wearing his crown?
No. He
Okay.
doesn't normally wear his crown that much.
So what's the vibe here?
It's just like a not a blank face, but just like a neutral face. Just kind of like slowly nods and then walks out after
Just being
Hyacinth.
civil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he doesn't approve.
Susan's distracted.
Yes. But following wherever they go.
I've had a thought. She's following me, right?
Yeah.
She's following us or whatever.
Yeah.
And when we get a little bit further away, I'm going to kind of stop and like where he won't be able to see us, like around a corner or inside or whatever, and just kind of like huff.
I mean, he's pretty short. You know, it's not difficult to find something he can't
That's
see.
true.
Behind.
Yeah. Well, he was an awful little fellow. But I've had a thought in the meantime. You said that these were of the plane of air.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to like look at the little thing, and in primordial, because I speak that, which is the language of the elementals, I'm going to ask it where it came from and see if it can understand and or speak, and if I can understand it.
It does not seem to react.
Darn. That's worth a shot. Perhaps there's a higher language of the elemental planes that I'm unaware of.
Can I try talking to it in all the languages I know?
Mm-hmm. It does not seem to react to any languages.
Okay.
Can I talk to it in the language that I know, which is pets and pickles?
I spent many years in the mountains learning danger noodle speak. Nothing that you do seems to entice any obvious reaction or any communication from it.
Someone needs to learn noodle.
Darn it.
I know people who've gone noodling.
I know quite a lot about canoodling.
Obviously, nobody here knows what noodling is. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no, what's noodling?
Oh, it's where you wear like these waders that are rubber, and it's a solid piece from boot up to like your chest, and you wade out into water and you catch fish like with your literal hand holding bait.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know that. Canoodling is sex!
Yes. Yes, it is.
I hope somebody else heard that outside your flat.
Like you just discovered that.
Yeah. Oh my
What?
god.
Oh my god!
Well, that was annoying.
He was a bit rude.
He was very rude.
That's
I
not
nervously
too
made a
surprising.
danger noodle.
You what?
You nervously made a danger noodle.
Oh,
Yeah.
you nervously made a danger noodle. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said you were nervously doing something to danger noodle. I was like, well, I feel like I need to know what that is.
Oh no. Just nervously made one.
Maybe it was best that you did give it away to the sage then.
I didn't want to seem like it was too important. If we truly needed a mason before now, then we would have probably been able to find one.
Do you want to go find Varkas?
I don't know that he'll be much help. I guess we could speak with him. Has he seen this yet?
No. I don't know whether he should see it.
No, he definitely shouldn't see it. He has a half-failed one.
Half failed.
Well, a normal one.
Yeah. And not super success.
Yeah.
He's a half-failed one. I love the idea that you just give him just like some kind of deformed version. That
Yeah,
didn't
like-
really come out right. And it's like, and then Susan's like, excuse me, half-failed?
It's normal. It's
It
middle.
looks amazing. Are you
This
dissing my
one's
work?
just-
I love that too. Like she hasn't mentioned like whipping out canvas or paper or anything. So I just imagine her painting it on like her armor because she knows like whatever, it's gonna come off right. And then the failed one is just like stays there, and she's like, oh shit.
Does the failed one just come to life as a 2D thing or whatever it was?
Paper
It's
and-
like,
Just like
oh no, Paper D.
whipping around on your armor.
is that just
like
a straw?
on Moana, where he's got that tattoo that dances around him, except you've got this like painted
Noodle.
tempest that like floats around you, around your armor.
That would be really cool.
That
Actually,
is really cool.
that's almost cooler. Almost.
Almost.
You could set up a business doing magic tattoos at that point.
Oh.
But you'd have to try each one 3 times potentially, or more.
Okay, let's hide Danger Noodle number 2.
Hide. Where?
I put it in Dane's bag before.
Or you could probably just put it in your pocket.
Does it breathe?
I'll put it in my pocket.
Like the suits from Tron.
Wraps itself up into a little bundle in your pocket. His head pokes out.
I got
No,
a
you
pocket,
gotta
got a
stay
pocket
in.
full of tidbits.
No.
Every now and again, you got to push its head down.
Yeah, just have my arm in front of the pocket just to make sure that it's.
So you're off to find Varkas.
Yeah,
I'm assuming your first guess is that he might still be on the roof.
yeah.
Yeah.
You are correct. He is still up there. He's still painting away, very much distracted.
How does it look, the painting?
Well, if you walk up to him and have a look, it's quite impressive. It's not a masterpiece, but it's definitely a beautiful piece of work. He's kind of got this scene is definitely not what you saw, but there are layers and layers of cloud, and you can see that each of them is kind of like a layer in front of the other. So you've kind of got this foreboding cloud in the front, and then there's a little bit of snake body. There's another layer of cloud just behind that, and then another little bit of snake body, and it keeps going backwards like that until there's like a little bit of tail at the back in the end. And there's this sunlight in the right-hand side that kind of casts the rays across each of the different layers, that kind of like accentuates the shadows of the clouds, but also the depth of the image. It's impressive. It's not mind-blowing, but it's a nice idea. And it's executed quite well.
He's no amateur.
Yeah.
Okay, I go up to it and go, wow, Varkas, that's beautiful. You did great.
Thank you very much, Susan. I was inspired by well, not only obviously the Tempest is beautiful in its own right, but also the gift that you gave me.
Beautiful. I thought we'd bring Hyacinth up here to show her the happenings.
Oh, the Tempest, yes. I think you might have missed him, but you're more than welcome to use the telescope to see if you can spot it.
Oh well, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Take
Roll a
look in.
perception check.
Oh, good. Yeah, perception.
Oh, good, sure.
Like the one thing I'm good at, I didn't get to do today. Damn it. Oh, I rolled insight instead, and it was a crit. Oh.
Use that roll and just the other modifier. It would be exactly
Well, it would be the same. Yeah,
It
there's
would've been
still
the
both the +2.
Well, it's too late now. You roll.
Or a DM.
Either way, it's the exact same modifier as well.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, that's what I said. It literally would have just been that roll. I just pressed the wrong one.
Oh, okay. Oh, in which case we'll just take
We could
that.
have easily modified.
Yay.
To the correct.
Well, yeah, we'll take it. If it's the same modifier, we'll take it. It's fine.
Okay. Crit. 20.
But you do not see it, sadly.
Oh.
Well, what can you tell us about the thing? Because if it comes back, I would like to know how to make it go away again.
Oh, well, not much, honestly. We've never had to interact with it to any real degree. We just kind of observe it from a distance. In the past, I've not seen it with cloud cover. I almost think it makes it slightly more beautiful.
Very artistic perspective. Let's hope that it doesn't come anywhere near.
Well, in my experience of them so far, they seem to be quite hard to anger. We've not had any combat engagements with them, or we've not seen them fight anything.
Did you see where it went?
It appeared to go towards the fog.
Oh. Hey, Jack.
I wonder if he can get out. Or whether this is now like a giant zoo.
Now we're gonna grow the little one and ride him out of here and leave.
That's the final goal.
Forms of it can leave, but we can't. So like it like
We just like get pushed off the top.
Splash.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come back. In the meantime, you mentioned before being willing to trade labor and services, as it were, and I was wondering what you would consider a fair exchange for some of your skilled laborers. I already spoke to Soph, and it doesn't seem like any of the knowledgeable people on board would have any more information than our own resources, but we still are interested in maybe contracting for a bit the mason from you if we could.
Well, absolutely, that'd be fine. You should probably speak. You said you spoke to Soph.
Yes.
I see. She handles all of the kind of outsourcing of our mercenary work, be it skill or sword.
Yes, she pointed us in the direction of Dantier, and he seemed quite frustrated that you were offering the services of his crew.
Yes, no, he's a bitter old fool. It's probably too early in the morning for him.
Ah.
But I'm afraid I wouldn't want to step on his toes. Yes, I'm the captain of the ship, but we tend to leave each other to our own departments, as it were. I'd rather not pull rank on him. I'm sure if you wait a while, or perhaps show him some. I mean, he's a bit of a prideful fellow. Perhaps some humility. Perhaps he's somewhat. Perhaps your company isn't putting him in his best of sorts. Him being a Durgar and everything.
Oh yes, he accused us of having prejudice against him before we'd really had much to say. So.
Yes, well, there are some of us who are less enlightened.
To say the least. So how did you, just out of curiosity, come by, how would be the correct way? I don't really know exactly how your organization works if you're the captain, but they all don't exactly answer to you. Is this like a team you've contracted from elsewhere then?
No, so I mean, I have the last say.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of my team, my crew will accept my rulings, but I try not to. I would prefer to be an approachable leader who doesn't, whose crew appreciates some room.
Understandable. Seems like he doesn't appreciate it, so that's why I thought maybe he was an accessory that you'd picked up and didn't plan on keeping.
He's a difficult sort. I think he appreciates a slightly hands-off approach to leadership, which is why I say that I'd rather not get involved if necessary.
Aha. Well, interesting. Oh, fine then. Appreciate the words.
If push comes to shove, talk to me. But this seems like early days.
Early days. Is that like a phrase that I would know?
Oh, well, in real life maybe. It's early
on in their like occupation. Is that like?
No, I mean like early on in the endeavor. The endeavor here is that you're trying to get him to do something for you, and you've tried to pull rank on him quite quickly, is what you're saying.
Do you not have that saying?
Early days. No, I have no idea what reference you're making.
Really?
That's why I was. Yeah. No.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, it's just like
early on.
Early on, yeah.
Relationship or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So this is saying early on between us and Farkas because we didn't necessarily mention.
No. So it's more like you've basically been like, "Can you do this for me?" He said, "Yeah, for a price," and you've been like, "Well, I'm talking to your dad."
Well, I didn't default to talking to your dad. I defaulted to we both know that that's unreasonable, and then he was more unreasonable. So anyway, that's fine. No, she's just like she's basically giving off this like, wow, you have no control over your crew. Good luck. Like she's definitely making no like effort to hide like, oh wow, so okay, yeah, that seems like a well-oiled machine. Good job. Good luck with that. But not saying those words, of course. Just like, oh well, oh fine then. All right, well we'll be off. Nice speaking with you. That kind of a.
Yeah.
She's perhaps not like being the most gracious ever.
He's definitely 100% clocked onto that vibe. And if it's not clear to you, then it's definitely clear to Dane and Susan as onlookers.
It actually might not be. I don't know. She might. Yeah. I don't know if she would exactly be able to perceive how he like picked up on that. But
actually. Well, let's say a 15 and above on insight.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so she didn't necessarily notice, but Susan and Dane, you definitely caught on that he got the whole Hyacinth maybe not necessarily respecting the way that he does things vibe and the not entirely unhostile reaction to it, but it appears that he's perhaps happy to put his experience over her judgment. Doesn't really give a fuck.
Good.
But he was very gracious in that he didn't take offense at your opinion of his leadership technique, and he didn't really. He seemed to not take offense.
Good.
I don't really know where to go from here.
Are we walking away from him?
Well, yes, obviously. I did want to kind of like dramatically walk away and like just like step off the edge and kind of feather fall to the ground, but now I'm not confident that my spells will work. I don't want to just like.
Oh my god! Yeah, this is not the time to test.
Jumps off.
How long does that last? How many? So, in American speak, how many floors up from the ground are we?
You are on the roof of the building. There are 3 floors in total: ground floor, first floor, third floor, roof.
Okay.
So 4.
So I'm at the.
Wait,
I would be at 4.
Roof as a floor, yeah.
Yeah. I'm checking on how long Featherfall lasts. 1 minute. So I'm going to head towards how do we get up here, by the way? Is there like stairs?
Staircase. Yeah, there's a staircase.
I'm going to like head in the direction of the staircase, and then I'm going to just like try to like inconspicuously cast Featherfall on myself and see if it works, and if I feel it take hold, because we've known so far if it hasn't worked.
Okay. So the first attempt, you kind of felt a fizzle on your fingers that suggested that maybe something was awry.
I'm just gonna leave it alone then. Now she's even more
ground
mad.
floor, first floor, second floor.
Yeah, that's what he said with ground floor, first floor, third floor, and roof. And I was like,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we don't use the second floor.
Yeah, you don't just skip a floor. Sorry.
Hey, some places do. Like there are places that you go where they won't put in a 13th floor, and there are places where you go where they won't put in a 4th floor, and so.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, I think 4 is a really 4 in I believe it's Chinese culture. 4 is considered unlucky, like 13 is. I want to say it's Chinese. I'm pretty sure it is. And so
Boy's got a DM, okay? He's got stuff on his mind other than the second floor.
yeah, no, that's fine. No, you're totally fine. I just was making sure that wasn't another thing that I didn't understand.
No. There's no 13th floor in many buildings. People are stupid. Anyway, no, yeah. You're not going to jump off the building then?
No,
Cool.
Probably also
not this time.
because what does like a super featherfall do?
Featherfall, where I would just be able to like step off the. Oh my
Gravity
god!
does
Yeah.
not affect you. You jump up and then just don't come back down.
Oh,
Oh,
Dramatic
That's
ending.
And then the spell ends, and then you crash to your death.
I guess a super featherfall would just be fly.
no. Weird Daerd Isle world. No, that's my.
Right, it was an MC Escher building. There's just like
So-
she's just like walks away, kind of like when she's out of earshot, quietly grumbling to herself.
Okay, well, Susan and Dane, you've definitely noticed that she's in a bit of a strop.
Okay, well, Varkas, nice to see you again. Good luck on your
Yeah.
run. It's looking great.
Thanks.
It's looking
See you
great.
guys.
Really, really good.
Thank you very much.
See you later, probably, I assume. See you.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, alright, cool. Bye.
Awkwardly back down the stairs.
So you managed to catch up to Hyacinth, who is having a huff down the stairs.
When he said that the people you had there might not have put him in the best frame of mind, or
Mm.
something like that.
Are you familiar with the? I would assume Hyacinth would know this because she works directly and is employed directly by a team of artisan dwarves, and she has been sent to remote places, and so she knows Dwarven. She's learned a lot about the culture. Would she know about the like animosity between dwarves and Durgar? I would think that she would, so that you don't walk up to a Durgar and be like, "Oh, look, one of those like Dwarven types," and start speaking Dwarven to them and offend them.
It's unlikely
Really? Okay.
but only because Durgar are supremely rare on the surface world. Like drow are rare. You don't see drow frequently, but Durgar are even less frequently seen on the surface.
I know, and they're usually evil, aren't they?
I mean, there is there is there,
Is that
they are
common
similarly I mean, Durgar are like their cultural is a little bit more like selfish and evil aligned, whereas drow culture is all about like sacrifice and murder for personal gain and stuff. It's a little bit different. Yes, usually they are evil aligned. No, you probably don't know that.
Okay.
You've maybe heard about Drogar and that they've got their own like cultural qualms and stuff, but you don't know anything specifically about their relationship with dwarves.
Okay.
So they're just going to be like, yeah, it's probably best if I'm not there if you want to talk business with him.
I don't know if it was you so much as it was him being an asshole, but you know.
Oh, he's definitely an asshole, but he can't help that, unfortunately. But it's probably best that I'm not there.
Oh, where's the racism dog Twitter account that barks at everything?
What? No, he was an asshole.
Yeah, he said he can't help that. That's a race
Because they're
thing.
usually- As a dwarf, would he know they're usually evil?
As a dwarf, he knows about the Durgar and how there's a very obvious racial and cultural hatred between the two.
That's not racism then. He just knows they're usually evil. I mean, we met these people who dropped out of the air in nefarious circumstances who employ a drow who swears they're not evil and a Durgar who swears they're not evil. Neither of which have been helpful. Well, a Durgar did not swear to be fair. So it's just,
Also, the
you know.
drow's been really lovely to you. So
Oh, I mean, really lovely in that sort of like facade sense of like not necessarily helpful in any way, but cordial. Like they haven't done anything wrong, but they haven't done anything to help.
yeah, Katie definitely has gone into this everyone is evil mindset here.
Katie doesn't like them, and Hyacinth definitely doesn't like them.
They haven't given me everything I want on a plate, so they must be evil.
Well, I mean, I don't know. She was able to talk a beholder into not killing them and giving away his prized
Yes,
possession.
I do like the idea that Katie's grumpy. Not Katie, Hyacinth's grumpy because she hasn't been able to persuade everyone to do everything she wants
No,
immediately.
absolutely. That's part of it. She's just
No, I like that.
what's
Yeah,
going
no.
on in the world.
I absolutely love that. I do love that.
I mean, that's a thought that she had, like walking away, like, what is going on? Like,
Maybe today is just Hyacinth's day.
this really is the end of the world. I can't even talk people into things anymore. Shit, that doesn't even take magic.
So are you off to see Soph then? Or not Soph? Daerd.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
Look like we need him that badly. Then the price will either stay the same or raise because he's an obstinate asshole. So is this how normal people exist in the world? Everyone evil, it's fine. What? Wait, who's normal? None of us are normal. Let's look. How about some wine cakes? No, she's not even saying anything. She's just walking.
Does she have a direction? Or is she just letting off some steam and go for a walk?
Yeah, just kind of like circling, I guess. Like, I'm assuming the like downstairs would be on kind of like the far edge, right? So like walk off the side of the building and just kind of like double back around and just making a circuit of like the perimeter.
Okay. Well, you guys see her kind of like, she's got a bit of a march on. She's definitely ahead of you, a couple steps. And you see her kind of get to the entrance of the front entrance of the keep. And you finally catch up with the front entrance of the keep, and she's not by any of the market stalls. She's not by Soph, who you can see. And you can also see Daerd. So she's kind of gone for a wander.
Well, maybe we should just let her.
Yeah. Oh, some steam.
Do you want to make some more danger noodles?
Yes.
Hey, we can't
I leave them alone for 5 minutes.
Danger noodle number 2's head sticks out of the pocket.
Do you want another danger noodle, friend?
Tyson comes back and we're just both like covered in danger noodles. And then this is a whole bunch of like just normal statue ones on the floor as well.
Yeah, we'll go to like out a
Discarded
room or
ones.
something. Yeah.
Thrown away.
Yeah, we'll go somewhere private where it's not obvious that we're making a bunch of danger noodles.
Are you actually going to go and make a bunch of danger noodles?
Oh, what? I mean, Dane seems to want a danger noodle. Dane, do you want a danger noodle? Okay.
Dane wants a danger noodle.
Okay, well, we've got time to kill here.
Okay.
Come to my room.
Well, you guys go away and you start making danger noodles.
Yes.
And as you're like, kind of, you're in. The scene is
Yes.
you guys are in the bedroom, kind of like scrawling on the floor, trying to make danger noodles. So Susan's room now is basically covered in paint of just like drawings of tempests.
I just see like Dane casting guidance, like maybe this will help, and like, come on.
So, like some of them look better than others. Some of them have turned into figurines, which you have now dotted around. And now you've got a danger noodle for both of you. There's a knock on the door. Buff opens it.
Hi, babe.
What is?
This is a danger noodle. Do you want a danger noodle?
Yes.
Cool. Come in. Shut the door behind you.
He just kind of stands. He doesn't sit. He just stands and watches.
Starts painting away again, trying to make it.
Danger noodle.
Danger noodle.
And he kind of picks it up and he looks, kind of like he picks it up by the end of its tail, and it's quite a long thing. It's like wrapped itself around like kind of a coil. And it kind of goes.
No. No, it's a pet.
No need, pet.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. you doing well? You doing fine? Is everything okay?
Yes.
Just checking up. Okay, cool. I'm glad you're good. Well, I'll be here making danger noodles.
Later we.
Yeah. I'll
Goodbye. Just leaves. Now the scene is just Dane and Susan.
Dane is already just like
Danger noodles.
concentrating on his danger noodles.
Buff has essentially
Precious.
come in and been like, "You want to fuck?"
See you later.
And they're just like,
Danger noodle.
Later we danger canoodle.
"Danger, we danger canoodle." Oh,
Oh.
I love it. Oh my god.
Now I want to call one of them Danger Canoodle.
I mean, people can get the wrong impression if you say that. I'm not there. You do what you want. I'm not there.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe Hyacinth would want this one though. You know, maybe we don't have an extra one. Maybe we can give it to
Don't
Hyacinth.
know, she didn't seem massively keen on the whole Danger Noodle thing.
Oh, she might change her mind when she sees this little guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
See?
If he doesn't want it, we'll just have another one. It's fine.
Yeah, Casimir might want it. There you go.
Okay, so now we have a picture of Susan's bedroom, which is like, is she a messy person?
No, it's like cluttered, organized, you know. It's a bit cluttered
Okay.
because there's a lot of shit everywhere, and now there's even more shit, but it's in, you know, she
Yeah,
knows
she's
where
got-
everything
she's
is.
got
It
some
makes
clothes
sense.
and stuff hidden away in a wardrobe. The wardrobe door's slightly ajar.
Mm.
On the side, on the like dressing table now, there are like a couple of discarded like parchments with like drawings and scribbles on. You've got,
Mm.
and now there's like a kind of a glass that's filled with paint water, and the paintbrushes are discarded aside. And on the floor and the wall, there's just loads of paintings of
Danger
tempests,
noodles.
and then the little figures that are kind of like in a little clump, like just like a bunch, just like put. Oh no, you've lined them up.
Yes, they're all lined up.
You've lined them up. Love it. Okay, so you've got your danger noodles.
What does the failed ones do now then?
So the failed ones, you've got danger noodles that turn into statues and danger noodles that are just
Paintings.
Painting.
Okay.
That's fine by me.
So Jebediah is going to live in my beard.
Jebediah and Jeremiah.
And Jeremy.
Oh, I don't want to name mine. Should we go and see if we can find Hyacinth now? Maybe she wants a danger noodle. Maybe she's, you know.
Yeah.
out
it's
here
been
or
it's been a while now. You guys have been in there for probably about an hour trying to like
something. Make it one more.
perfect your drawings and
Okay.
stuff.
Cool.
I love that. So okay. Anyway, so outside you leave and you find Hyacinth, who has appeared to just be pacing up
Hyacinth?
and down.
Do they have them with them?
They're-
Jebediah's in my beard.
Okay.
Yeah,
In
in
my
pockets.
beard. So if you can see his little face sticking out, it's like
Probably not.
You can
I
see
mean,
that a
like-
little bit of paint is on like Susan's face from where she's like trying to wipe a bit off or something like that from making so many.
No, dang it, I did it wrong again. Whatever, it's the same modifiers. I want to keep hitting insight when I mean perception.
So it got a stealth check of 13.
Yeah, no, I mean, I didn't imagine an 8 was going to. She's not in the best like mindset right now. Hello, what have you? Yes.
just like nudge Susan, be like,
Open up my pocket. And can I have the danger noodle fly out and then like loop around Hyacinth and be all like excited and cute and like be all up in her face like
I
Like
really
a
like the
dog.
idea of you opening up your pocket and one danger noodle head comes out and she's like, I know, you've got one, and then another one comes out.
Yeah.
The two little danger noodle heads come out the same pocket like
Hello.
Oh no.
Listen, this is dark times. Sometimes all you need is a danger noodle.
I mean, danger is in the name. I feel like we've got enough of that.
Well, I mean, we came up with danger noodle.
I'm still worried that these are going to grow.
Yeah, but think how long it must take for something this small to grow into something that big.
But what if this
Pans
magic
to the next
surgery-
day.
Everyone's
All of Geese is overrun by giant tempests.
Best defense mechanism? Question mark? Question mark?
Yeah, there
Make
you
an army of tempests.
Careful.
Campaign over.
Oh my god.
Empnado.
just endear them to us so that when they do grow up,
Yeah.
They
I
only
mean-
kill everyone but you.
but we'll have saved the island.
Technically. Can they eat von Karstein? That's the real question. I just
What does Tempest shit look like? When they get really, really big, and they just the whole island is just piles and piles of massive, like loads of Tempest shit.
you know in Futurama how Nibbler would like his poop was like dark matter or whatever? Like
Oh yeah, I was thinking more like Jurassic Park.
oh truck-sized piles of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
cloud poop.
That's all that clouds are.
Oh my god.
My God.
I never knew. I feel bad about
Like-
making it rain now.
Like aeroplane poop. There's like
Airplane
streaks in the sky.
Ew.
I'm just still not
Wow.
convinced that these aren't going to end up being huge.
Well, we can enjoy them while they're tiny and then deal with that problem in the future, like all of our other problems.
Yes.
This is the party of.
do
We'll
it.
cross that bridge when it comes to it.
Yeah, right. This
There's
is-
still a dragon in the depths of Valhalla that they didn't deal with.
I don't think she knows about that.
Probably not.
Well, no, we saw one on the way over, but wasn't that like Casimir's mom or something?
Yeah, it's a different dragon. There's another
Okay.
dragon.
There's another alive dragon that we should worry about.
Oh,
There are at least 3 dragons on this island. Because you saw one when you were flying. It was flying around the woods by the Amber Temple.
and there's also the undead one.
There's the undead one, and there's the one that's in Valhalla that these guys met.
And then there's the one under it. Another worrisome dragon. Yes. I just
Well, we could worry about that or snuggle with danger noodles. That's a good
Exactly.
point. Vaka said that they're not bad unless they're like, provoked. We're not provoking them. They seem to like us. Look.
what if the personality of these are completely different because they were created by a magical storm that's breaking down the barriers between the planes?
Well, it's too late now.
But what if that made them friendlier and miniature?
I mean, I guess I can't say you're wrong, but I also can't say you're right. So it's kind of like a neutral statement, isn't it?
Well, on that point, you've got a very stroppy Hyacinth. Would you like to resolve a little bit of stroppiness before we finish today's game?
You'll have to tell me what stroppy means first, because I don't know.
Already? Grumpy.
Mm.
Having a tantrum.
Yeah, like in a mood.
She's very grumpy, but danger noodles aren't going to help because now she's like worried that there are going to be 3 huge tempests. Everything else has gone wrong. This can't go right.
Okay, well, it is currently 10:30, so now is a good place to end.
Mhm.
If you would like to maybe consider RPing some stroppiness and everyone figuring out why you're so stroppy, then you know where to do that. If not, you can save it for next episode.
Anxious grump, the next evolution. For real.
Hi, Rick. We're not about to end. Don't know what I'm about.
Wait, sorry, are you saying that you want to play longer or want to do it in Discord?
I mean, so I'm gonna go.
Okay. So Discord. Got it.
No, I'm saying you can either Discord it, or we can wait until next episode and you can do it next episode.
Probably next episode. Next session.
Okay.
Yay, we love D&D.
There was no cliffhanger this session, apart from Hyacinth's grumpiness. That's not really the cliffhanger.
Hyacinth is a cliffhanger. Who knows what she's going to do with this one.
Jumping off cliffs left, right, and centre.
Only floating. Well,
Yes.
I think we had a good session. That is the most RP of a session ever, and we played pretty much the entirety of it. Like, that was pretty much non-stop, very few distractions.
What happened?
Who are we?
RP.
Crazy.
What? It's this Zoom. We were worried that we were only going to get 40 minutes.
Yeah, next time we're gonna have.
Or someone else could just do it. Someone else has their first meeting.
Oh yeah.
It should be good.
Goodness. Right. Everyone looks depressed. They don't know what happened, but damn, no, we're good. We had a good session. Everything went
The
amazingly.
characters are a little sad. Well, they're a little sad, and Hyacinth is a little angry. A little. He's a lot angry. They're mostly sad because they tried to cheer her up, and she was like, "What are you doing?"
They're trying to cheer her up with these adorable little summonable pets.
That could potentially be monstrous beasts that are so dangerous. They could definitely swallow everyone whole.
Who knows? Would you guys like to know the challenge rating of a Tempest? The Tempest that you saw. Is that 7? What was that, 5?
23.
23. Yeah. It's a challenge rating 23 monster.
Excellent. Listen, I feel like we're all going to die anytime soon.
What's the challenge rating of a danger noodle?
I don't have a challenge rating. But Mama Tempest is a big boy.
Danger noodles are the answer to everything that won't at all backfire.
The gremlins of TNT.
Oh my god, it is.
Don't get your danger noodle wet.
Do not feed after midnight.
But every time is after midnight.
Oh,
It's always after midnight.
Oh no.
Don't ever feed them.
You know, is 1 a.m. really early in the morning or really late at night?
It doesn't matter. It's still after midnight.
It is. So it's midday.
That's the point. That's the like gremlin rule is silly because every time is after midnight.
Yeah, fuck you, Gremlins.
Yeah.
Fuck you, classic film from most people's childhood. Fuck you. Indiana Jones was pointless.
Right. If they had never done anything, nothing would have changed.
Right in the childhood.
Sorry. I watched it as a kid, and at 5 years old, I was like, but every time is after midnight. And my dad just looked at me and was like, be quiet.
Man, all that preparation I did for that thing. Learning that thing, Katie.
Learning that thing. I know. Next time.
We had a full 3-hour game of RP. Ugh.
Learn a thing.
D&D. Right.
I mean, you have to understand, she thinks that there's a whole lot of complicated underpinning to what's going on and that they're all not being forthright at all. And she doesn't want to be she knows he knows who she is. And so she can't just go through it acting like this is super important to her, because then it could make things worse. This could end up being a bargaining chip, you know? So she's not just going to be like, fine, whatever the cost is, I'll pay it.
Don't look at me. I'm happy. I'm a DM. You guys, do whatever the fuck you like. It's my job to pick up the pieces. You just, come up with the crazy shenanigans.
That's what we're good at.
Yeah.
That's why there's so many danger noodles.
You haven't killed anybody in a while. That's nice.
Oh, well, that might happen very soon. Who knows?
Who knows? I mean, I think everyone that you've run into so far is super lovely.
You think everyone what?
is super lovely.
You mean in this crew? Everyone in this crew?
I mean, not everyone in the crew.
No, I mean there's that Drugo in there. So
Yeah, he's a prick. But...
Open a Danger Noodle pet store. Yes, boom.
Sometimes people are just assholes. You know, they don't have to be evil. They could just be assholes.
Well, I mean, doesn't that kind of make you like? Can't be good and be an asshole. It's not really how it works.
Yeah, chaotic good people can be assholes.
Asshole's different from like mischievous though. Like if you're that much of a dick, you can't be a good person.
I mean, you could be grumpy but still want to do the right thing.
Well, he's not doing anything good though.
Well, you don't know. All you know is that he's like a sapper.
Yeah. Yeah.
He works for this guy. That's all you know.
Yeah, we need to go find Casimir.
Right. Okay.
Casimir, prove your loyalty. Kill that Durgar. I'm kidding.
Goodbye, my friends.
Okay, yes. Bye, everyone.
Closing time.